DJ. Which Doctor Wake Up? Yeah, I seen it. Hey, listen, man, we live on the blue, we live on the green, we live on the purple.
Let me
More
teach
than
you how to
likely,
vibe.
weekend, I'm probably gonna be live on the green and the purple. We're probably gonna let the blue rock, hop right
Let me
into
teach
whatever
you
we
how
do
to
on the
vibe.
weekend. Them other spots should be announcing Obituary 7 soon. Biggest race tournament on Earth, Craig Henry, Big Ben. Yeah, I seen Corey Davis unretired. They have Mike Williams, Hollywood Brown official. It's gonna be some more moves being made today. New shop
Let
talk
me
up
teach you
this
how to
morning, 8
vibe.
a.m. I was up early with it, making sure that we get them 5 shop talks out a week plus reels. If it's
Let me
anything you
teach
want
you
me
how
to
to
react to,
vibe.
anything that's not covered in there, man, message in the comment on YouTube. Hit that like, share, follow. We almost at
Let
a
me
thousand
teach you
on
how to
YouTube.
vibe.
Join the Discord if you want to be part of the verbal conversation. And uh, when I'm not live, I turn the chat back on so people can type and post stuff in there. I just turn it off while I'm live because it's irritating to have people comment in the Discord that don't talk in the Discord or don't talk in the chats. And that's not, you know, directed at one person or no knock on nobody for however you communicate. But, you know, we are trying to do what we're trying to do. Aunt Bill, what's good, my boy? So let's see who is on the move today. The Bears closed it out last night, getting Keenan Allen, Devin Bush on the move, Hollywood Brown, Mike Williams to the Chiefs. I told y'all the Chiefs had some up their sleeve when they started restructuring. The Vikings are trying to acquire a second first round pick from the Texans, which they're going to have the 23rd pick in the draft. The Texans are trading back. They're trying to save from paying high value in the first round, seeing as they're a playoff team and it's in the back end of that first round. A lot more moves I feel will be made today. Jadeveon Clowney is visiting with the Jets as we speak. 49ers have signed another offensive lineman, John Feliciano. We already getting draft trades. This is exciting as you can get. Cameron Curl heading to the Rams. What a night. 2-year, $13 million deal. Cam Curl is headed to the Rams.
Let me teach you how to vibe.
For the Rams. Patrick Mahomes tweeting smiley faces. So it's still a chance that L'Jarius Sneed could remain a Chief. I still think they'll deal him, but we got time. Anything y'all want to talk about, dropping in the chat. Let's get busy. Mike Battle 256. Great pickup, Aaron. And I dropped the YouTube video today that's in the pinned comments. Is dealing with that. Writing room last night was fire. Sending emails today. For sure. Appreciate that. So Bandit was good, my boy. This is the killer. I had to address, you know, the AJ Brown comparisons with Calvin Ridley, which is just that of people who don't know anything about
Let me
football.
teach you how to vibe.
But everybody's entitled to their opinion, and if anybody disagree with any of my sports takes, if you watch any of the YouTube or any of the reels or anything like that, pop out in the Discord. Let's do it live. Let's make magic. Let's make some content. Because I'm undefeated and I always slay every dragon that hops in here. Cause it's cool to like sit and formulate your thought over the course of a week to come up with a disagreement to something that I say. But it's hard for you to get in on a live stream and actually articulate your point in front of the world. You know what I'm saying? And that's a part of the platform we're gonna grow with the YouTube. He said 3P. But you know what I always say, Big Ben, the best team is always the healthiest team. And I say if a team is healthy when playoff hit, doesn't matter about the regular season. It matters at the end. That's why I'm watching some of these teams move and say, are they trying to make a move
Let me teach
to
you
go
how to
all in right
vibe.
now? Because we see how that worked for the Jets last year. We see how that worked for the Saints last year. We see how that worked for the Giants. Teams go all in on these contracts and it blows up in their face, and then they have no future and they're left scrambling the next couple of years. Best teams learn how to reload, how to offload contracts, how to restructure, and how to move pieces and get pieces back in return when it's time for people to get their payday. Edward B. D. Ford, Vibes, Regs tournaments again. Obituary 7 is probably going to be the end of this month. We about to announce it. Me and Rich just got to get the time. You know what I'm saying? Kids, we both of us got kids and they're on spring breaks and stuff coming up, and we want to get that set before we decided on a date for Obituary 7. Hyperlux.gg / Vibe Nation. Deuce was good. So let me type that in the chat. We do have a tournament website. Check that out. Make a profile today. There is Oklahoma State. There's Ole Miss. It's a lot of other people attached to us. We do good business over there. We had probably around 23 tournaments. TJ from the MCS won the last Obituary. We've had, I think, 22 to 23 tournaments. Half of them have been regs and half of them have been mud. But all the big tournaments, the big cash, the biggest cash tournaments are always going to be regs, because I think it just gives everybody an opportunity to play, even if you
Let me
haven't
teach you
been
how to
keeping up with a
vibe.
MUT team. You know, the number of people who keep up with a MUT team enough to compete for money is very slim at this point in the year. You know what I'm saying? Like MCS is over. When that ends, people sell their teams and just pretty much just try to have fun with the game. What's my opinion on spinning the bag on really? It makes a lot of sense. At this time of year, like Regs and Connected franchise pop because they
Let me
don't
teach you how
require
to
a lot
vibe.
of time or money. Six God Alberto. I mean, being people try to compare it to AJ. AJ was a second round draft pick that wasn't franchise tag, and John Robinson messed up a lot of contracts. He had the franchise tag Jeffrey Simmons that year, and his pick was who do I franchise tag, and they don't have the money to pay either one of them because they had a lot of dead cap from restructuring on that playoff run. John Robinson ultimately got fired the week after the Eagles game. Todd Downing had a DUI and got fired. Mike Vrabel ultimately got fired, going down in the Titanic with Ryan Tannehill. So I don't. It's no way, if you understand the team and the structure of what was going on, that you can compare a new GM, a new head coach, a new offensive coordinator, a new defensive coordinator, a new special teams coach, a new stadium being built, all the way down to the person that sells the hot dogs is different
Let me
in the
teach you
building
how
2
to
years later.
vibe.
And you have an opportunity to have all your biggest contracts come off the board. You have 20 free
Let me
agents
teach you how to
unrestricted
vibe.
on your 55-man roster, most of which are starters. The only two people that's legitimately signed to contracts, three people would be Harold Landry, it would be Amani Hooker, and Jeffrey Simmons. Everybody else is pretty much free game. So with that being said, taking
Let me teach you how to
a
vibe.
top 2 receiver in the division, top 3 if you want to be petty, taking the best receiver
Let me
off
teach
your
you how to
rival.
vibe.
If the Jags would have re-signed Calvin Ridley, they had to give up a second round pick. Christian Kirk and Calvin Ridley getting paid the same. If you was gonna steal a player, would it be Christian Kirk or would it be Calvin Ridley? Of course it's Ridley. Now you putting Ridley with D Hop. This is D Hop's last year. You got D Hop last year for 13. He's 13 this year. He's not getting the 27 he was getting with Arizona. And we basically swapped D Hop for Robert Woods and saved $2 million last year. So when you look at it, only half of it's guaranteed. It's not a big cap hit this year. Legitimately, you getting this year and next year from Calvin Ridley, and you can do what you want after that. The same with Tony Pollard. Tony Pollard's 3 years, $21 million with $10 million guaranteed. So you're basically gonna get this year and next year, and then everything's off the books with these guys. You know what I'm saying? Similar to Taylor Lewan. Taylor Lewan's last year was $15 million. None of it was guaranteed. He's now running one of the better sports podcasts in the world. You know what I'm saying? So when you look at at what they had, Do you want T. Higgins? But you're gonna have to give T. Higgins 30 and give the Bengals draft capital. The Titans ain't in the position that we traded Kevin Byard to the Eagles to get 2 extra draft picks. We got the number 7 pick and the number 38. It's no way that we're gonna be drafting in the top 6 or 7 picks in the first 2 rounds and give that up to get T. Higgins and then give up more money. Titans done signed like 10 people filling out that roster and still have 50 to 60 million free. It makes all the sense in the world for me. What happened to weekly tournaments? People start being cheap and start getting their head bust. Nobody want to get $10 to get washed in the first round every week. This ain't Twitch. If this was Twitch, then that's why we trying to grow on Twitch, because Facebook people got heavy egos but lower competitive spirit. To be honest, that ain't no disrespect. That's what our community didn't turn to. People ain't really trying to get in there with all the dogs. If you got 40 to 50 dogs in there and you got to give up $10, a lot of people are not confident in their ability to walk through that. And if it's the OB, yes, because that's their chance to pop out. It's like the state fair. You know what I'm saying? Like you get the funnel cakes and, you know what I'm saying, with the apples on top of it. You get the clown at the Dunkin' booth. It's a little different. Being like every QB deal and every free agent signing is like 2 years, X amount, certain amount guaranteed. You see Baker Mayfield, Geno Smith, all these middle of the pack QBs that can win you playoff games, but haven't ever really made that run. These guys are getting 3 years, 100 million, 50 million guaranteed. You're getting a season and a half out of them. You can still draft and go get it whatever you want. You know what I'm saying? Like those are the best deals. Your 6 was popping. Cody was good. Ravens guy, Derrick Henry. He said, I pray for times like this. Man, Derrick Henry wanted to go to the Ravens. Y'all didn't have the money last year because of Odell. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're not taking Odell to give you Derrick Henry. You know what I'm saying? Like, because Odell's contract was bigger than Derrick's last year. They're like, no. Javon, what up? He said, who better, Ridley or Allen? I mean, they're comparable. I'd rather have Calvin Ridley because he got less wear and tear. But if you finna get Keenan Allen, I'm not mad at the bet. I think that's a solid veteran receiver for whether it's Caleb Williams or somebody else or Justin Fields. I think that's about as solid as you get as a route runner that can win ones and get open and catch. Dude, the crazy part is Calvin Ridley and D-Hop. Traylon Burks gonna move to the slot and they still gonna draft another receiver. That's the crazy part about it. I don't understand how a person could be a top 3 receiver in a division, the best receiver on your division rival, and you steal them, and then people is tripping when less than half of his contract is guaranteed. What's good, Tevin? Tyler Boyd to the Steelers. I think the Steelers is like making really good moves in the offseason. You know what I'm saying? Stealing a solid receiver away from your division rival, saving $3 million by trading Deontay Johnson. George Pickens is your one. They still can go get somebody else. They're only paying Russ $1 million. They only paying Kenny Pickett $4 million. You know what I'm saying? They in the market to get another safety and Minka Fitzpatrick, TJ Watt back, Patrick Queen. Like the Steelers is making some good moves. I like the moves. Said Jaguars, Texans, and Titans in the division. The Colts too. You forget that Anthony Richardson is a goon, and him and Jonathan Taylor gonna be healthy this year. Michael Pittman Jr. coming back. Zaire Franklin, one of the best run-stopping linebackers in the league. DeForest Buckner, you know what I'm saying? Kenny Moore coming back. Juju Brents. The Colts is nice, too. They was winning games with Gardner Minshew, you know what I'm saying? So imagine Anthony Richardson come back, play faking to Jonathan Taylor. See, people be forgetting about, like, Josh Jacobs and Jonathan Taylor being on the team with Jordan Love and Anthony Richardson. These are guys that led the league in rushing. These are guys like this damn near 2,000-yard backs. So you put those guys healthy in a good situation and let them run. And the Packers is bringing back Dillon too. So they're going to have Josh Jacobs and Dillon. Like, they're going to be ground and pound. Step, what's good? I wanted to get DJ Reader or Art Armstead, but it's still a chance that the Titans can still get Chase Young. Rams is getting nice, though. Cam Curl to the Rams is a sleeper. Yeah, I like what they're trying to do. All season crazy, and we didn't even got to the draft.
Let me teach you how to
Henry wanted to go to the Ravens last year. They didn't have the money. if you watch the Bustin' with the Boys podcast when he was on there with LaJuan,
Let me teach you
Derrick
how to
Henry wanted to go to
vibe.
the Ravens. Cowboy fans was losing their mind thinking that Derrick Henry wanted to come there. No, he wants to win. But will the Ravens run the ball 6 times against the Chiefs in the AFC Championship game again? Find out next time. You know what I'm saying? Yo, responsible. A rich black man been ducking the smoke. Them Cowboys ain't got no money and they ain't doing anything. Trade Dak Prescott to one of these teams that need a QB. Put Trey Lance in, draft a QB, and go spend some of that money in this offseason, man. Help your team. And then get rid of Michael Gallup. Mike Green, Tone. Titans about to trade back. I think they should. If you telling me they can add in that missing 3rd round pick, then I'm with it. But that also make me feel like they finna go get one of these free agent tackles. I've been hearing they might get Trent Brown to play right tackle. Yeah, division rivals at each other's throats. I mean, Cody, is true. Like, Lord knows why y'all ran the ball 6 times against the Chiefs. You got Dalvin Cook, Justice Hill, Keaton Mitchell, Gus Edwards, and y'all ran the ball 6 times. And I'm pretty sure, you know what I'm saying, like, they contain Lamar pretty good except for that one long run on the left side. Dudes. That's why I said really has only played like 60 games. He's played the equivalent of less than 4 seasons. He got a lot of open space on his body. You been in the booth for 20 minutes? If I click on here and Rich ain't in the booth, oh,
Let me
he
teach
is.
you how to
By the time he
vibe.
start ducking, y'all notice he been look. Rich done sit in the booth and then not say nothing and just hide out and hear what I gotta say. He
Let
trying
me
to read
teach
the
you how to
room.
vibe.
Rich is smart. That's how he a rich black man, because he's smart. He's sitting here, he observing. He trying to see what the temperature is. He trying to get a feel for how he feel about the Cowboys. He knew they ain't got no money and they ain't making no moves. He got to sit back and watch everything that go on and pray on the draft.
Man, listening to this insane conversation about the Tennessee Titans, I don't know why you get on here every day and talk about the damn Titans. Nobody want to hear about no damn
Because
Titans.
the Cowboys ain't doing it. Y'all got $2.2 million in cap space.
Nobody want to hear about
Y'all got $2 million in the cap. What y'all gonna do with that too? We know y'all spent some of it on a long snapper.
Y'all just mad because no matter what y'all teams do, they still gonna be talking about the Cowboys.
Bro,
that's why y'all so mad.
The Cowboys only got enough money to sign a long snapper. Like, y'all might
That's
as well
why
get
y'all
y'all a
mad.
new hot dog, man, or a new beer, some more new beer reps or some spend that 2.2 on the cheerleaders, man. That's all y'all got money for. Y'all in the gas station, all y'all can get is like the penny candy. You remember the penny candy? You can get some Jolly Ranchers and some Lifesavers and stuff at the bottom.
Nobody worry about y'all. Y'all just mad because no matter what y'all teams do, they still gonna revert back to the Cowboys. That's why y'all so mad.
Man, the Commanders making moves. The Giants making moves even though they're handicapped, and the Giant fans ain't willing to admit how right I was. The Eagles is trying, but I still think, like, right now, Rich, without being able to make any moves, do you think the Cowboys are going backwards from last year or forward from last year?
I mean, if you look at the history of the Cowboys and as a fan, like we never really signed people in free agency. Like, so
I think the last person y'all signed big name was Dion, and we know how that worked out. Why haven't y'all decided that signing good talent to your team and getting rid of some old players that ain't effective could help?
I mean, here's my thing. So the approach the last 30 years since our last Super Bowl was draft and don't really do no free agency. Like, how has that worked the last 30 years, right? We got no NFC championship games. We got no Super Bowls. So for the last 30 years, why are we going to continue to use that same strategy? Now we need to probably go out and get some damn free agency because the last 30 years, that strategy ain't worked. So why are we continuing to do the same thing over and over again? Like, even if you building through the draft, right? Like, none of those players have really, like, stayed long enough to make a difference to win an additional playoff game. So I'm all right with them wanting to change the strategy and maybe get into free agency because that draft shit ain't worked.
Nah, it hasn't. You know the crazy part about the Cowboys is, all right, look, let me get on record and say I'm not a Cowboy hater because I like my dad's favorite player is CeeDee Lamb. So it's like I have to talk a lot of Cowboys because my dad's favorite player is C. So every Sunday,
Let me teach you how to
you know what I'm saying?
vibe.
We texting and calling talking about what's going on, and I kind of like a de facto keep up with the Cowboys because of that. So he's just like, what are they gonna do? You know what I'm saying? He called me the other day, like, what they? I said they don't got no money. They need to offload Dak. Like, if you're not gonna extend McCarthy and you're not gonna extend Dak, and you basically saying we're not gonna get you any free agent help or make any moves, but if you don't get us to the Super Bowl this year, like we're gonna get rid of both of y'all. So my thought process is, you let Tony Pollard go, you sign Deuce Vaughn, you don't have an every down back, and you watch Aaron Jones come off the board for 7. You watch Joe Mixon come off the board for 8. You watch AJ Dillon. The Packers use some special clause to keep him from going to y'all. Like, at this point, you almost going to be stuck drafting a running back to back years in Dallas when y'all had like the best line in football, and y'all had Ezekiel Elliott and Tony Pollard at one point. And I said they should have traded Zeke to try to get another ground and pound running back to put with Pollard and go 50-50 like 2 years ago. So I'm just confused that, like, y'all have a lot of pieces that y'all can move and free up, but I think it began and end with Dak. Like, why? So this is my question to you: why trade and get Trey Lance last year if you don't have intention on trading Dak to free up $40 million? Like, you could trade Dak and Michael Gallup and free up $55 million and just run Trey Lance and draft another quarterback. Why won't y'all do that?
I mean, why Dak don't be a team player and just come out with like a lesser team friendly type contract so he can be protected? Because Dak probably gonna lead the league in getting sacked next year because we ain't got no money to sign no other players. We lost the center, we lost the left tackle. So who the hell is gonna block for Dak Prescott? Nobody. So he gonna be the $60 million man or whatever contract extension we give him. Kirk Cousins got $100 million. Dak Prescott gonna get way more than that. And I need Kirk Cousins' agent because I don't know how the hell he keep getting paid every time.
You know why he getting paid? He has the complexion for perfection. he got the right complexion, bro. Because that was my, to all the Falcon fans that was coming in defending it. I said, listen,
Let me teach you how to vibe.
let me go take. I don't care if it's Cam Newton. I don't care if it's Donovan McNabb, Steve McNair. Let me go take every black quarterback that was like a Super Bowl caliber quarterback in the history of the NFL and let them be 36 and have an Achilles tear and think that they can get $180 million the next season from a team that's going to be drafted in the top 10. You won't find it. Like, we seen Kobe get an Achilles and we all cried because we was like, man, this the end of Kobe, right? You know what I'm saying? Like guys that's close to 40, he's going to be 40 when that contract ends. And this is what I've been saying for the last 2 years. And I've been meeting so much resistance, Rich. I was never hating on Dak. I said this was Dak's best year as a pro. But when he threw them pick sixes in against the Packers, against Jordan Love over there playing on a rookie contract, all I could think is, man, this is it. It's Trey Lance season. They need to go on, like, pull the trigger, move him, do something while they still can, because it's some teams that would take Dak Prescott's contract the Vikings would take it before they start shuffling to try to get in the top 10, like the top 5 picks to draft a QB. It's some teams that would have took him. Because if the Cardinals is trading for Desmond Ridder, you could have dealt Dak Prescott.
All right.
I mean, the Broncos is paying $38 million of Russell Wilson's contract this year, so the Steelers can use him for free. He said Kirk is good,
agree.
but this the thing, Deuce. He was 12-5 and had a good year with the Vikings with Jay Jettis 2 years ago. Last year he didn't play. He got injured in October, and Achilles fixed. The season is gonna start, and he's gonna be 9 months post injury. Like we're not even talking about he's had a full year, so he's gonna be 36 playing. That first time he dropped back and somebody come diving in at him, I want to see if he able to like not second guess his body and step up and make throws. Like think about it. Aaron Rodgers went to the Jets and missed the whole season, right, Rich?
Yep.
Who in their mind really thinks that Aaron Rodgers is going to come back and throw for 5,000 yards or something? You like he might be effective, better than what the Jets got, but he's old. Like Peyton Manning when he was old, Drew Brees when Drew Brees when he had those cracked ribs that last year, and they had Jameis Winston throwing the deep balls. Like you running a two quarterback system with Drew Brees. I just don't see like late in the career an injury like that, him coming back and throwing for 4,500 yards or something. Because ultimately, Rich, what kind of scrutiny would Dak Prescott be if he'd been in the league for 13 years and had one playoff win? Do you think he gets $180 million?
What was the question? My bad.
I said if Dak Prescott is in the league for 13 years and has one playoff win, do you think he gets a $180 million contract coming off an Achilles?
Oh, absolutely not. If y'all thought Kirk Cousins was throwing it and checking it down in Minnesota and he was healthy, just imagine what he's going to do once that pressure get in his face in Atlanta, bro. Like he may not throw the ball back to the line of scrimmage at all. Like he going to be getting rid of that ball quick. He never was really a quarterback that liked to get hit anyway. So yeah, good luck with that.
You said if
You're right, he
Peyton
definitely
could
won't
back
do
off
100.
the life threat injury. This is the thing about it. They was thinking about benching Peyton Manning on that run with the Broncos. That Broncos team ran the ball and played lights out defense. Peyton Manning didn't hardly even throw the ball in that last season. They were saying in practice leading up into the playoffs, he didn't have velocity past 15 yards. But we're not about to try to compare Peyton Manning after already winning the Super Bowl to Kirk Cousins. Like we're not doing that. You see what I'm saying? Like this is a quarterback that in 13 years in the NFL has won one playoff game. This is the same situation as Derek Carr. Derek Carr was healthy last year, but he's played for a decade and has 0 playoff wins. The thought that y'all think the Falcons, with as much moves as he made, has so much free capital that you can go draft one of these top 5 quarterbacks coming out and get Joe Flacco for $8 million. Why on earth would I give Kirk Cousins 45? If he goes out there and he's a baby deer, they franchise is set back for the next 3 years because they traded off the other guy that they was developing. So I think y'all in a similar situation in Dallas. Like if Dak plays the same way he played last year, as effective as he was, the Cowboys are back in the same position in the playoffs. The Packers have upgraded. The 49ers are going to reload. The Eagles are reloading with better pieces. The Lions, I don't know if they can get back to where they was at last year. I mean, getting DJ Reader is a great start next to Aiden Hutchinson. But I'm seeing teams that can actually compete. I still think even with Kirk Cousins, if he gets in there, he's still playing even ball with the Saints and the Bucks.
Right.
He's not a guy that like puts you over the top in the playoffs. At least Aaron Rodgers, you can say if he's healthy, he's won a Super Bowl. He's been an MVP. When you look at Kirk Cousins, you're saying at best he's a first round exit. Dak Prescott at best may win the wild card game. I just think it's time to see Trey Lance season, bro. Like get them $40 million back. Like what's the biggest pieces you think the Cowboys need, Rich?
I mean, they kind of addressing it slowly a little bit. I mean, they was able to get that linebacker from the 49ers to flip. So linebacker definitely was a huge need going into the season. So they kind of addressed that. Obviously, we gonna get Diggs back, and we also gonna get that other rookie back, the other rookie linebacker Overshawn back. So they kind of addressed that a little bit. Now they just need to fix the offensive line and get a center, get a left tackle, and the biggest obviously need is damn near running back. So
that's crazy. The Dallas Cowboys need a running back. Like,
yeah,
I might have to say that like in slow motion. The Dallas Cowboys, who have the running back with the most yards all time in NFL history, who's had like I'm gonna be fair. Next to the Titans, the Cowboys is one of the franchises like running back you. When you go back at the long list of great Cowboy running backs, and you say the Cowboys not having a running back one is kind of wild. Especially with the moves that's been made by the Eagles getting Saquon Barkley. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't know, man. Like that's a stinger right there.
And normally you would say like, okay, the Cowboys got one of the best offensive lines in the league, but they don't. And you can pretty much plug in any running back in that system, but you can't because our offensive line is not as good as it once was back in the day. So now we kind of need a veteran running back that can actually go back there and run behind some inexperienced dudes because that's not like a plug and play running back situation no more. So kind of disappointed in the running back thing, but
I
I guess
mean,
they're just gonna put it all on that.
is it safe to say that y'all got the worst running back core in the NFC East?
Currently, yes. I mean, we got a little Mighty Mice Deuce Vaughn back there. I mean,
That's tough because the Commanders got Austin Eckler and Brian Robinson. The Eagles got Saquon. Even the Giants with Daniel Jones tanking their franchise, they still went and got Devin Singletary. Like, I mean, they're gonna be capable.
I would just love to know what dollar amount are they willing to spend on running back because they couldn't get Derrick Henry for $8 million or any of the other guys. $8 million, okay, cool. They couldn't even get Zach Moss, who signed, I think, with Buffalo for like $4 million.
Let me
So how
teach
much
you how to
aside did they put
vibe.
away for the running back position, which was a need going back into last year?
I'm gonna be
So
honest with you, Rich. It's not the money. I don't think that was it. And I hate to say this, I don't think nobody wants to come to Dallas
I
because
mean,
like if Tony Pollard was the heir apparent to Zeke and they let him go, and then you had Zeke, they overpaid Zeke. I said it, $18 million that last year he was there. Like, that's crazy, $18 million for a running back, and then you pay $40 million for a quarterback. Like, you got $60 million sitting in the backfield. I just think, like, there's Gus Edwards. Gus Edwards went to go play back with Jim Harbaugh. Austin Eckler wanted out of the Chargers. He goes to the Commanders to split duties. Tony Pollard comes to Tennessee because he he's not going to be ran in the dirt. He got Tajay Spears. You look at the Bengals let go of Joe Mixon to go to the Texans, and then they swap, and then the Bengals pick up their running back for half of the money that they paid Joe Mixon. The Packers paid Josh Jacobs 12, and then put a tag on Dylan, cut Aaron Jones. The Vikings pick him up for quickly for $7 million. Like, I don't know how Aaron Jones ran down on the Cowboys in the playoffs and y'all didn't reach out to try to get him for $7 million. I think that they might have been like a little bit overconfident to think that because Derrick Henry bought that bigger house in Dallas that he was going to come to Dallas. But I always knew he wanted to go to Baltimore. So it's like, if the guys that y'all wanted chose to go to other places, like what do you see what I'm saying? Like what do you do when the person doesn't want to come there? Like, the guy that you want doesn't want to be there.
I mean, playing for the Cowboys, America's team, it ain't for everybody. So,
No, but I'm saying, like, it's
that pressure.
becoming a dog and pony show that people don't want to be there. Like, when Dalton Schultz leaves and goes to the Texans in state and says, I felt like I was in a petting zoo with the tours and stuff. I couldn't just like focus on getting better. Like, that would scare a free agent from wanting to come to Dallas.
Right. I mean, hey, it's America's team, Dallas Cowboys. What can you say?
What's good, y'all? Appreciate y'all reacting in the chat. Now,
I gotta go all that chronic right quick.
One quick question before you get out here, Rich.
Yeah.
Is Cook still on the contract?
Yeah, he got like another year, I think.
Okay. All right.
Stephon Gilmore is not on contract.
Yeah, I see he's a free agent.
Let me teach
Yeah, I
you
think
how to
Cook's got
vibe.
like one more year. I mean, he was pretty productive. I mean, I'm glad they are exploring ways to get rid of Michael Gallup because he just
Let me
ain't been the
teach you how to
same
vibe.
since his injury. But that was a bad contract to start. So we traded Amari Cooper and went all in on Michael Gallup. And now looking at Amari Cooper versus Michael Gallup, once again, the decision making in Dallas is just insane. They're being cheap.
Yeah, being cheap never works when it's somebody you need.
Yeah, they should have kept Cooper and let Michael Gallup go. Like, they never really learned their fucking lesson, man, at all. At all. And like I said, like the last 30 years, we didn't did drafts. We haven't made no big splashes in free agency. And that's equal no Super Bowls, no NFC Championship games. So maybe they need to switch it and go to freaking free agency because even the dudes that they drafted, CeeDee Lamb, Michael Parsons, I mean, obviously we got Dak Prescott. all that over the last couple of years, Tony Romo, whatever, equal just one playoff win. Like the strategy is flawed. They need to do something else.
That's tough. I told
It's
you I wouldn't
crazy
do.
that
You
they ain't got no
hire
money.
Shabba Buddha in Dallas. I get rid of Dak Prescott.
So looking from the outside, all we've been doing is paying a bunch of losers, giving a bunch of losers a whole lot of money. So
I
what's the
ain't
point?
saying losers. It's like Dallas got to get back to the team is bigger than the player.
Mm,
You see what I'm saying? Like everybody was like so lost at Diggs going down, and then Deron Bland went crazy. Like trust the picks you made. You know what I'm saying? Like trust the guys you brought in. Don't think that one player is bigger than is like, oh, if we lose this guy, we won't be, because they really should have pulled the trick on Zeke earlier.
right.
And it's the same way with Dak. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, we won't be this without Dak. Trust me, Trey Lance can do
Let me
everything
teach you
Dak
how to
Prescott is doing
vibe.
right now, and it's gonna save you $40 million if you deal.
True. All right, I'll be back in a little bit though.
All right, for sure. Let me get back into the chat, man. Any of y'all want to hop in? The doors is open. Too funny. I appreciate that. How they get the money to sign all the names? Okay, that's the easy one. Deuce. Jason Kelsey retired. Fletcher Cox retired. Hargraves left and went to the Niners last year. So that's like, that alone is like close to 40 million. They took Bayard from us, but when they let Bayard go, that freed up like 13 or 14 million. They was able to bring CD Deuce back cheaper than what they was paying Bayard. And then you have Swift leave, and then you bring in Saquon. It's like they probably had about $50 million in contracts to either retire or just leave. When you have that, you get money free. Cowboys need to play chess, not checkers. It's just like life. Like the average person, we thinking about like bills this month, maybe saving, vacation. Like, our life is not planned out that far, right? The people that are running the world are thinking about 100 years from now, like, what resource can I control? What direction is technology heading in? Let me buy this plot of land that has computer chip minerals on it, and in 20, 30 years from now, like, that land is going to be worth something. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's the same way when you look at the teams that win, they project into the future. They know what they got now, but the Cowboys really don't have vision for players past like right now, because there's so many fans and so many owners that want to win now, but don't realize the team that's winning. Like, the Chiefs are making moves because they gave a 10-year deal to Mahomes a few years ago. Every year they restructure it and they shuffle players. They draft people ahead of where they need them, so when people need to get paid, they don't have to pay top dollar for it. The Patriots used to do it with Brady. Brady was never the highest paid quarterback. And when people came up for big contracts, they already had drafted somebody to take their position. So the question was about the Eagles. When you draft the Georgia defensive line the last 2 years with Jalen Carter and the big guys they got up front, when Fletcher Cox and Hargraves leaves, that's $40 million that's leaving. But you already got their replacements. Like, that's the nature of the business. Is you can let Stephon Gilmore go because you got Diggs and Bland. Now, who else's contract is coming up that you can draft and develop a player? Like, you got to be able to draft and develop. That's why the Titans have been set back for so long. Like, imagine what the Titans would look like if they was able to develop a running back at any point in time where Derrick Henry was there. The first one that's been able to develop is having Tajay Spears last year have 1,000 all-purpose yards. You see what I'm saying? Like, Traylon Burks was a number 17 pick. He hasn't developed at all. He had 200 receiving yards last year. So it's like, teams that don't know how to develop just want to go get a good guy and plug him in, and that's going to solve the issues, but it don't work that way. Dak going into Cowboys Hall of Fame? Probably not. Nah, Saban don't want to come to the NFL. Saban done. Saban didn't work out in Miami because the way his philosophy works, it needs to be people that can buy into his system. He had the best system in the history of college football, and people buy into it, they winners. I ain't gonna say whether Dallas need a black GM or a white GM or a Hispanic one or an Asian one. I am gonna say that Dallas needs to stop thinking like names. Like think about it. Like the Niners drafted Talanoa Hufanga. They let Jaquiski Tart leave. Then they drafted K.R. Brown. Then it like these guys that you don't know about have to turn into somebody. You know what I'm saying? Like it can't just be. It's not just McCaffrey. You know what I'm saying? Like it's the Brock Purdy moving Jimmy Garoppolo and moving Trey Lance and having an $800,000 quarterback. Is, you know, when the Lions get Aiden Hutchinson and J-Mo and Jahmyr Gibbs and St. Brown and Laporta, you don't know them guys until those guys turn into what they are. You know what I'm saying? Like you have to be able to draft players and develop them. Like the Commanders are in the position they in now because they drafted like some of the most gooned out defensive linemen, but they never developed anybody else. Like you had Sam Howell there. You didn't get an offensive line. So who cares if they trade now? If the guy they drafted, they don't protect them up front, it's not going to matter. You know what I'm saying? Like that has to be the philosophy for the team if they want to win. That's why D'Amico Ryans is winning with the Texans. Like he had a game plan on how he wanted to bring talent in and develop it, and you're watching it develop. Man, appreciate all the reactions though. We live on 3 platforms. Anybody got any questions? Disagree? Agree? Got anything they want to add to the convo? Man, drop it in the chat and I'll address it. And these sections be going up on YouTube daily. So man, make sure y'all following the YouTube. The YouTube is the pin link in the comment. Make sure y'all give a like, a comment, a share on those YouTubes. If you want to see me react to something that y'all got a question about, drop it in them comments on there. When I read it, I'll go make a video. So the Vikings now have 2 first-round picks. See, that's smart of the Texans. They killed the draft last year in the first round, getting Will Anderson and C.J. Stroud. This year they trading out of the first round and killed free agency. It's like some teams just smart, man. Some teams are just smart. My opinion, keep Fields or go Caleb. My true opinion is I think Jaden Daniels is the best quarterback in the draft. If I was the Bears, I'd keep Justin Fields. I'd trade out of one. I'd let the Commanders, the Cardinals, Vikings, whoever want to get Caleb Williams, get him. Then I'd draft Marvin Harrison Jr., and then I'd draft Jaden Daniels. I let Jaden Daniels and Justin Fields fight it out in preseason and in camp. You can't move Justin Fields if the fan base in the locker room wants him. You have to let him lose the job. Or he steps up and plays the way he needs to. That's my true opinion of it, because if you pass on Caleb Williams and you pass on Jaden Daniels, you pass on Drake May, Bo Nix, whoever you had your mind on, and Justin Fields doesn't work this year with all the help in the world. Like if they go get Marvin Harrison Jr., Keenan Allen, DJ Moore, Swift, if they have all that and he still doesn't play well, you putting yourself in a position to say, like, we missed on a guy that could have been the next guy, right? But Justin Fields is only $4 million. If you draft another top 10 quarterback, he's only going to make $5 million. You have $10 million in the backfield. And if they lose or win the job, then it's their job to have. It'll be easy to trade Justin Fields post-draft if he loses his job in training camp. Or if you have that other guy, you can let Justin Fields rock and let that person be in the wing developing. So you're not putting him in a bad situation like Bryce Young last year with no offensive line and no weapons, getting him killed every week. So those are things that could happen. You know what I'm saying? Those are options. Because at the end of the day, like, you don't want to trade Fields and then Fields blossom somewhere else. And like with the risk, the Commanders are doing it now. If the Commanders trade Sam Howell and draft Caleb Williams, and their problem last year, according to their fan base, was the offensive line. If you don't address the offensive line and you put Caleb Williams in, and the Cowboys, the Eagles, and the Giants break his neck in division, then it's gonna be the same situation. That's my personal opinion on it. But to be fair, I thought the Atlanta Falcons was gonna take one of those guys and draft instead of giving Kirk Cousins the money, because it's a future move. It's to say like this guy is going to develop and be somebody that's not going to cost a franchise a lot of money, but going to develop into a pretty good pro with help. Because I'm of the opinion that if you took Caleb Williams or Jaden Daniels or any of these young quarterbacks, C.J. Stroud, Anthony Richardson, Will Levis, anybody that's been drafted in the last couple of years, these top tier guys, I think if you put a great defense and offensive weapons around them, they will be good. You know what I'm saying? I rather try my luck with that than guys that's been in the league for 10 years that's never won, no matter what the talent that's been around them, and spend $40-50 million on them. I don't see it. He said Penix Jr. I think that Penix can throw lasers. My fear with Penix is he's similar to what's the QB that went to Tennessee last year that was hurt and the Lions drafted him. Penix looked like his body may not be 100% right now, but that bitch can throw lasers though. So if I got Penix, I want Penix to like sit a little bit because he do throw lasers. They need to scheme around his weaknesses. But the question is right now with him only making $4 million, do you just draft somebody who's a better version of him? Like if you're getting Caleb Williams or Jaden Daniels, it's not like there's nothing that Justin Fields does better than him. You know what I'm saying? Like I think, you know what I'm saying? So it's like a matter of, do you think he can read, if you've evaluated him as a franchise, can he read the defense and can he get the ball out? Trade a player and they shine? Or you can trade a player and say, man, I'm glad we got rid of him. Let's say run the ball, dink and dunk. And how far does that get you though? You ain't drafting nobody in the first round for them to dink and dunk. you drafting the number 1 overall quarterback to C.J. Stroud your ass and bomb somebody for 300 yards and go to the playoffs and win in year 1. The Chiefs, when they got Mahomes, they had Alex Smith. Alex Smith was winning 11, 12 games a year. They put Mahomes in it go from making the playoffs to Super Bowl. Like the Bengals got Joe Burrow, Super Bowl. You know what I'm saying? Like the Eagles got Jalen Hurts in the right system, running the right plays, Super Bowl. Like you draft those guys to take you to the next level. Like think about it. The Niners got Brock Purdy in the 7th round. He's done he's accomplished everything that Jimmy Garoppolo and Trey Lance did. But the 49ers are smart as a franchise. They did what most franchises won't do. And what the Bears are in a situation now is Justin Fields, Jordan Love, just waiting on the opportunity to be better and have better things around? Or is he Trey Lance and Brock Purdy is way better in that system than Trey Lance, and Trey Lance is on the Cowboys now? You know what I'm saying? Like you just have to decide. I think the Titans is making that decision now with Malik Willis that he didn't have enough of opportunity. He was a 3rd round pick. The Titans have 3 quarterbacks on roster for $6 million. I think you're gonna see the Ravens backup QB and Malik Willis probably get traded somewhere to be a backup and get a chance somewhere else. Cousins wants a new chain. You say like my take. My take is always logical. It's not biased.
Teach you how to vibe.
It's this, bro. It's the same as the Eagles was gonna give the world up with Chip Kelly to get Mariota off the Titans, and we didn't trade him, and we should have. The Titans was gonna give Tannehill, not Tannehill, but Mariota $80 million in 4 years. They gave Tannehill $120 million in 4 years. You just don't want to see your team reach when you could just go to the draft. And all you got to do is go back and look at them teams, them years where they could have drafted. The Saints could have did that last year. They could have traded Michael Thomas. They could have traded Taysom Hill. They could have cleared the bad contracts from Sean Payton and drafted a QB last year, or got a veteran last year, put Jameis Winston in and drafted this year, and just loaded more talent. Because ultimately what happened is you the New York Giants, you pay $160 million for Daniel Jones when you should have let him go and stockpile talent, and now you got to play against Saquon 2 times next year. That's what teams do. Philly trying to get Huntley. That's always going to be my stance. The only team that it's worked out for in the last decade, and it could be somebody else in my mind just is not on them, is Matt Stafford. I was against the Matt Stafford trade because I said that Goff had already took them to a Super Bowl. He just lost to Brady. If Todd Gurley don't get hurt, the Rams probably beat the Patriots in that Super Bowl. But McVay and Goff didn't get along. So they trade Goff to the Lions, and the Rams gave up their first round picks for like a decade or something to get Matt Stafford. The only difference in Matt Stafford was the Rams had money. They had the best defensive player in football. They had the best cornerback in football. They got Odell Beckham to go with Cooper Kupp, who was playing like the best receiver in football. They got Eric Weddle and Von Miller, who at the time was arguably the best edge rusher in football. Like, nobody knows why all these teams decided to go take Pro Bowl players and send them to the Rams that year. But ultimately, that's what happened. You know what I'm saying? Like, ultimately, that's what happened. And even with all that, if somebody could have just like fell down in front of Aaron Donald on that last play, Jamar Chase had made Jalen Ramsey fall down. He's going to greedy into the end zone if Joe Burrow has a chance to even just at least just let the ball go, because he could have threw that ball up like a punt. There was nobody back there to play defense. He literally would have walked into the end zone greedy, and that was the Super Bowl. But I gave Matt Stafford his credit because he went out and did it. He didn't back into that Super Bowl. He threw no look passes. He threw lasers. He threw shit under pressure. He beat Brady, you know what I'm saying, and Burrow on that run. So I got all the respect for Stafford for what he did. And the Rams have just got, absolutely blessed. Kyron Williams, Puka Nacua, like they just killed their drafts in them other rounds after that. But most teams don't have the coaching staff in the front office to develop talent in those other rounds of the draft the way the Rams have, the way the Niners have, the way the Chiefs have, the way the Eagles have. The best teams have drafted and developed very well. Is it Brock Purdy or is it the system and coaching staff? It's a bit of both. Now Brock Purdy, if you put him anywhere else, he probably ain't Brock Purdy. But the point is, he's the right guy for their system. And regardless of whether you want to say he's a better system quarterback than Trey Lance, he's a better system quarterback than Jimmy Garoppolo, and Jimmy Garoppolo done been to a Super Bowl and the NFC Championship. You see what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, Jimmy Garoppolo was the quarterback that they wanted to trade Brady for in the beginning. That Brady made them trade Jimmy Garoppolo off the Patriots. So you can say it's system or not system, but a guy don't throw for 4,000 yards and manage the game better than all these guys getting paid $40 million a year. If you put Daniel Jones on the Niners, they don't go to the Super Bowl. If you put Dak over there, they don't go to the Super Bowl. You put Kirk Cousins over there, they don't go. All the guys, Derek Carr, like these $40, $50 million quarterbacks wouldn't have managed the game as well as he have. So you got to give him his respect, because he could have easily went out there and threw picks. He could have easily went out there and missed open touchdowns or not got them into the plays they need to get into. But he's just a good fit for their system because he's basically Kyle Shanahan's son, the way he play. So it's like, you can say it's the system, but the system didn't work for Trey Lance, and Trey Lance was a first round pick that the Niners gave the world up to get. You said Dak could have took that team. It was loaded. And we seen what Dak had. Dak had Zeke. Dak had Tony Pollard. He had the best line in football. He had CeeDee Lamb, Brandon Cooks, Amari Cooper, Michael Gallup, KaVontae Turpin. Like, bro, Dak done had all the talent in the world. Like, even if it ain't like Dak lost because he didn't have help. Dak lost because he went out and threw picks. He threw picks against the Niners. He threw picks against the Packers. If Brock Purdy was turning the ball over, I could agree. But Brock Purdy in the playoffs, I'm of the opinion, somebody could disagree with me, the year that Brock Purdy got hurt, they might have beat the Eagles and went to the Super Bowl instead of the Eagles that year. The year, like they went this past year, they might have went back-to-back years if Brock Purdy played the end of that season. At some point, you got to say, in that system, he's the guy. At some point, you got to say, in that system, he's the guy. Because Tom Brady managed the game better than Bledsoe did when he came in to the Patriots. Kurt Warner managed the game better than Trent Edwards when he took over the Rams. Sometimes you just got to say, like, this guy was just the perfect guy for that team. You said the 49ers was better? Ask Cowboy fans if they feel that way. But you got to keep in mind, if you're going to swap Brock Purdy's $800,000 contract for Dak Prescott's $40 million, take some of them players off that team. That's the problem with the Dallas Cowboys. Dak Prescott need to reduce his contract. If Patrick Mahomes, the best quarterback not named Tom Brady, will restructure his contract to get Hollywood Brown and Mike Williams, why on earth is Dak Prescott and some of these other guys not saying, I got my bag, let me restructure to help my team go get somebody in free agency? You can't scream for help when you get the opportunity to reduce your contract to get help and you don't do it. That's not how it works. Here we go. Here we go.
Let me teach you how to vibe.
Cowboys been broke ever since they paid Dak and Zeke. When they paid Dak and Zeke, they lost Amari Cooper. Amari Cooper was their number one. Imagine if they never paid them both. Imagine if they dealt off Ezekiel Elliott and them $18 million and kept Amari Cooper with CeeDee Lamb this whole time. Imagine if they were still able to afford that offensive line they had.
Let me teach you how to vibe.
They could have shuffled the deck on defense a little bit. Imagine if they didn't sign Dak that year coming off the injury when they just wanted to keep him. Imagine if they would have drafted any of them quarterbacks that year. So let's look at it. Let's be fair. Let's see. Dak Prescott contract. Dak Prescott contract. Let's go to Sport Track. I always go to Sports Track. Sports Track have the best. If y'all ever want to look at somebody's contract, go to Sports Track. All right, Dak Prescott got his deal in 2021. Dak Prescott got his deal in 21, right? At the age of 28. All right, so let's look at the NFL draft in 21. Let's look at the first round draft picks of 2021. Trevor Lawrence, Zach Wilson, Trey Lance, Justin Fields, Mac Jones, those are all the first round QBs in 21. And in 22, the QBs that got drafted. Kenny Pickett, I think, was the only first round draft pick. He said that here we go, made you spit it out. So let me get this straight. The year you drafted, the year that Trey Lance got drafted was the year that Dak Prescott got his contract. And you now have them both on your team. So apparently Trey Lance was the guy they would have drafted if they didn't get Dak Prescott. Is that fair? Is that fair? He said, did Pat take a pay cut to take Tyreek? No, because they wasn't going to keep Tyreek. They got 7 draft picks, and like, bro, do you realize what they got out of Tyreek?
Let me teach you how to
they went to
vibe.
Pat and said, who do you want, Travis Kelce or Tyreek? Travis Kelce. All right, Tyreek, 30. We ain't gonna give you 30. You got to go. Cool. Go test the market. When they sent them over there, they got Juju Smith-Schuster, Valdez Scantling, Sky Moore, Kadarius Toney. They got that draft they took Karlaftis, Pacheco, Watson, McDuffie, Bro, they got like 55 niggas that year for getting rid of Tyreek.
Let me teach you how
If
to
y'all
vibe.
traded Dak off, y'all could do the same shit that the Chiefs did when they didn't keep Tyreek. Put Trey Lance in, take them $40 million and split it up on good players. That's what the Chiefs did. But please don't compare the Cowboys to the Chiefs. It says some of my takes be hate. No, it be honesty. It sounds like hate because it's true. The truth is, I've been on record for years saying when they signed Zeke to 18 million and Zach to 40, there's 60 million in the backfield is gonna cost them down the road. Because the line gonna get worse and the skill players gonna get worse. Then Zeke still ran for 1,000 yards on that bad leg that year, and it was very obvious because the Cowboy fan base was split. When Dak got hurt and the Red Rocket was in there, everybody was thinking about, man, should they move on from him? Dak Prescott had his best year last year. In his best year, he still played bad in the playoffs. I'm saying if that was the quarterback that you was going to draft if you didn't sign Dak, why not play him now and move Dak and take that money and split it up? Mike Williams is still out there, but I ain't crazy about Mike Williams. He could only get a 1 year, like, non-guaranteed deal for me until he could prove he could stay on the field. Yeah, it's just all about logic. It's all about logic. DeShanrick, what up? Oh, the Falcons fleeced Arizona yesterday. Desmond Ridder for Rondale Moore is crazy. Straight up trade. He's coming off a broken leg when he got the deal. Yeah, but the Cowboys felt like they owed Dak to get him that deal. At the time, I said, I don't know if I can give somebody $40 million coming off a broke leg. I'm glad that Dak Prescott was able to get his body back healthy and play as good as he's playing now. But if you was going to draft Trey Lance if you didn't take Dak Prescott, why wouldn't you give him a spiel right now? What Cowboy fan legitimately think, as good as y'all Cowboy defense is, if you traded Dak and put Trey Lance in right now and went and got a goon at running back and had a good draft, would think that the Cowboys going to be any different this year than they would be if Dak Prescott ain't out there? That's my honest question to y'all. That ain't hate. That ain't me. I'm saying, like, what do you think that y'all could do if y'all made that? They did wait too long, but you got to think, like, that's happened to a lot of quarterbacks. Kirk Cousins was the same way. Kirk Cousins was like on a double franchise tag or some shit by the time he got traded to the Vikings. Said they folded playing Zeke. It wasn't. I just said you got to choose. Either it's the offensive line and Zeke and you go to a different route at quarterback, or Dak Prescott is the quarterback. You keep the offensive line and you go running back by committee. That's like, you can't lose Zeke to finally let Pollard be the man, to let Pollard go too. Now you got no running back in Dallas. Derrick Henry didn't want to come out there, and you stuck on the end of Dak Prescott and Mike McCarthy's deal, and you don't want to expend either one of them because if they don't win this year, we know they both lame ducks. That's the definition of insanity. That's what the Titans was last year. And I told the Titan fan base, this is how you know my takes don't be hate. I told the Titan fan base live on stream, yes, we was one play away. That was a bullshit play from making the playoffs. But a lot of fans didn't want to win that game against the Jaguars because we said we'd get a better draft pick and we're not going to win in the playoffs anyways. The Jaguars wound up winning the game and beating the Chargers. We all rejoiced because we said we're going to get a better draft pick and we're not going to win. We come back the next season, Ryan Tannehill coming off a high ankle sprain surgery at 35. We all said Tannehill is definitely not getting a contract. Best case scenario is he competes for the division and he's a Jimmy Garoppolo we can trade at the second half of the season and play Willis, because we hadn't drafted Will Levis yet. That was the thought, was halfway through the season, man, we can trade him if he playing decent and he come back off this injury to a team that needs a veteran quarterback. That was the thought, right? When they came back and drafted Will Levis, we all knew it was a lame. We knew Willis was out. We knew Tannehill wasn't getting re-signed. $9 million of Tannehill's guaranteed money on top of his 27 was Julio Jones. And Julio Jones was on the Eagles. They wanted Kevin Byard to restructure his contract to start the season. And we all sitting here saying, we're going to have a better, more talented team and we're going to win less games. And people argue me up and down. I say, bro, like, when you got a coach that ain't getting extended and ain't giving the vote of confidence, and you getting a QB who know he ain't coming back next year under no set of circumstances, there's no way your team can win. That's what the Cowboys is right now. Is if Dak Prescott don't take them on a run, he's out. And Mike McCarthy's gone too. So at this point, man, just pull the trigger right now because the locker room gonna be split. Put Trey Lance in, take them $40 million, trade Michael Gallup to free up them $55 million and go get you some players right now. And halfway through the season, we might be looking at the Cowboys the way we looked at the Packers last year. Man, I don't know if Jordan loved the guy, man. Post Aaron Rodgers era is something special. Man, they got rid of Aaron Rodgers and now they're a playoff team. And they got Josh Jacobs and Xavier McKinney and they still got a lot of money free and they're gonna still draft. They got one of the youngest teams in the NFL. Sometimes you can rip the Band-Aid off that player that you feel like you can't win without. And Devontae Adams was a top 5 receiver and Aaron Rodgers is a top 5 quarterback. And they both gone and the Packers got better somehow because they trust the organization and the coaching staff, not like, oh, what are we going to do if we don't have Dak Prescott, bro? Like, come on, man. Like, like when people say that about Kirk Cousins and Dak Prescott and Tannehill and Daniel Jones and all these guys and Derek Carr, I'm like, these guys haven't ever won. Like, where's the attachment with not wanting to let go with a high-priced quarterback who can't win when it counts? Like, I just need y'all to understand that at some point. You'll get better by sometimes letting go. Like, think about it. Even in basketball, the Warriors let go of KD. He didn't want to be there no more. The next year, they was the worst team in the league. Then they got Wiggins and Poole, and they won a championship. And then you have Steph Curry sitting there saying, this is the most important one because I won it after they left. Like, sometimes you get better when you just rip the Band-Aid off. And the Cowboys are sitting there doing that right now. Because halfway through the season, if Dak Prescott playing bad, you're going to have to put Trey Lance anyways, and ain't nobody going to want to trade for Dak. He says, did he earn the deal? But just because he earned the deal, sometimes you can still let him go and let somebody else pay him if you know you ran him in the dirt. Like, if the Dolphins pay Tua $50, I'm going to laugh. Tua is a Bama boy. I want him to get paid because he paid last year on $6 million salary. I think Teddy Bridgewater started that contract getting paid more than Tua. But he led the league in passing last year. But, dog, the way we all watched his body hit the ground them couple of weeks in Miami, letting him play on that concussion protocol when they had team doctors lying about it. Bruh, if they pay Tua $50, I don't know if he make it through the contract, bruh. You see what I'm saying? He's a tough guy, but I don't know if he make it through the contract. Sometimes you got to say, man, we got to let somebody else pay Tua. We got to let him walk, and we got to draft somebody that can throw the ball to Jalen Waddle and Tyreek Hill. You know what I'm saying? Like, sometimes you have to do that, and it sounds tough, but as quickly as you do it, you become a better team.
Gang, love and light.
He said Trey couldn't beat Sam Darnold out. Yeah, in that system. How you know that Trey Lance in the Cowboys, if the Cowboys was going to draft Trey Lance if they didn't sign Prescott, you can't tell me that their front office ain't thinking like, here's our chance to see if he still would have been the guy. He said it ain't Madden. When did I ever say it was Madden?
Salutations.
That's good input. Like, Hap, you said my takes is hate, and you saying if you get rid of Dak, Cowboys going to be bad for 10 years. Like, where do you get this? It takes 10 years to rebuild a franchise if you letting go of the highest paid player on your team.
I think, before you go ham on Buddy in the chat, to combat a couple things, not comparing Dak Prescott to this guy, but there was a guy by the name of the great Peyton Manning who was historically ass in the playoffs. Turned over the ball a lot in the playoffs, couldn't get it done. He's seen the infamous Tom Brady in the Foxborough, Massachusetts Minutemen, and couldn't get it done. Choked games away against the Chargers.
But before you finish, add to that. This is Tom Brady's prime. Big Ben.
This is everybody's prime. This is the golden age of quarterbacks.
This is Drew Brees.
Ben Roethlisberger, Phillip Rivers.
You
feel me? The golden age.
Look, we ain't talking about getting beat by Brock Purdy or getting beat by old ass Joe Flacco or CJ Stroud's first year. We talking about losing. We talking about losing in the AFC Championship to Brady. This is the equivalent to Lamar, Josh Allen, and Burrow losing to Patty every year in the playoffs.
Can you follow my theory crafting here,
I'm
sir?
gonna let you finish, but you had to say who he lost to. Like Peyton Manning.
I was about to add that
Brady.
in. I was about to add it in. MVPs. So we're about to put, MVPs. Like, you're a Titans fan. I don't want to bring up no sore memories, but like
You can bring him
we
up.
used to use.
I ain't biased.
I mean, I'm just saying we used to use Titans and Texans games to get our roster better.
Bro, we never beat the Colts when Peyton Manning was there.
You feel me? So it's like,
And when Andrew Luck came.
I'm not giving Dak Prescott any slack whatsoever. I hate the Cowboys with the bottom of my heart. My girl's a Cowboys fan. But anyway, it's like this. I do feel like there's a little bit of Dak and a little bit of coaching. Let's just say you put Dak on another team. Like, I feel like you could put any quarterback on that 49ers team this year. Joe Burrow, Josh Allen, Jalen Hurts, any quarterback.
Them people that went to the Super Bowl, outside of
But
Josh
they
Allen,
lost.
them other guys
But they
went to the
lost.
Super Bowl by themselves.
Can I ask a question before I finish this? Sure. When in professional sports, or maybe it's a content creation thing, do we start giving credit for showing up? And what I mean by that is, I'm not about to give you credit for playing 82 games. I'm not about to give you, this is your job. You chose to be professional, a basketball player, football player, NFL, you chose that, just like I chose to make content. So you got to know what come with that. You got to play, you got to travel, you got to handle your family, you got to handle your affairs. So why am I about to give you credit for showing up and not getting the ultimate task done? Now, there could be some socio-economic things that play. Like, a lot of people don't know the year Bengals went to the Super Bowl, downtown Cincinnati opened a brand new multiplex casino. The year Drew Brees and them beat the Colts. They were rebuilding New Orleans post-Katrina. So did you get the job done? And in that aspect, maybe. Did you win the Super Bowl? No. So it's like, I feel like, yeah, you could put any quarterback on that 49ers team with that defense and that play calling and that system, and you was going to shine. You feel me? Like, so wrapping it around back to Mr. Prescott, who I think is kind of mid in a lot of situations, but they put him in bad situations. Like, you can't tell me you walk out there when you already down 21-0, you about to just set the world on fire. I don't think Dak Prescott's even that good to bring my team back down 14.
You misleading. You misleading right there.
Objection? That was an objection?
Yeah.
What did I say?
You said it like they subbed them in while they was down 21. The nigga started the game.
No, he wasn't part of the problem while they was down 21. That defense was getting
he didn't go
torched.
3 and out.
The first drive, I give you that, but the first two, when you already down 14-0 at that point. I think then the defense.
But we got to be fair. To be fair, are we talking about going 3 and out the first 3 possessions?
No, I'll give you the first 2 possessions. That third one ain't on him.
He got inserted into the game off down 21.
I feel like if we go back to the tape and we look at the storyline of that game, he wasn't the de facto reason of why the game went left. He was part of the story. He did start to press and make bad plays, but they were never in that game. If people think the Cowboys even had a chance to be in that game, they're smoking good 80s crack. And I need to find their dealer because it's 2024.
Dak Prescott's best year as a pro at home versus the Packers against a quarterback on his first year starting.
I just feel like we need to look at what Aaron Rodgers used to say about Mike McCarthy. It's the same type of indictment.
Let me teach you how to
with Dak Prescott. Okay, so let's rewind the year before.
I leaned on the coaching. I said coaching.
Let's go back the year before. You played the 49ers first half. Pick machine. Last possession of the game. Doesn't matter whatever happened the rest of the season, the year before, the year after. You get the ball at the 25, first and goal, 4 minutes left. First pass, Dak dropped back and hit Greenlaw in the face mask. And he looked over the sideline with egg on his face because he's saying, like, how on earth did you just drop back and just hit it? Like, there was no receivers in the area. There was no running back. He literally hit Greenlaw in the face mask with the football on the first play of the guap drive.
Not comparing Dak to Peyton again, but I've seen the Colts go 11-5, 13-3, and they get bounced out of the playoffs the first round 41-0 by fucking Chad Pennington. I do feel like
in the deflecting right now because we're just talking about Dak Prescott.
No, that was my original thesis in this whole argument was like I think we need to give him a little bit of grace because comparison to Peyton Manning, Lamar, or even if Lamar Jackson is the better kind of analogy or comparison, Lamar Jackson's on the same trajectory, multiple MVPs, can't win a playoff game, got decent team. When it come down to it, you getting bounced out of the first round, the second round, just like Dak Prescott.
But
you're not turning over the ball.
He lost in the AFC Championship this year.
Okay, I guess if that matters, you're the first loser.
This is what I'm saying.
I like that. Go back to we give him morality victory in professional sports.
This is what I'm saying. Like, I know where you're trying to go, but I'm saying the reality is any of these high paid $40, $50 million year quarterbacks, pick one. You can say Josh Allen can't get past Joe Burrow and Mahomes in the playoffs, but you can shoe in that Josh Allen is going to be around the AFC Championship picture, right?
I feel like that it's about six quarterbacks who are always going to be in that conversation.
This is what I'm saying. Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson.
Division.
Lamar Jackson. I'm not giving nobody credit for losing in the playoffs, but I am saying it's a difference between a guy that's going to be in a championship picture in a conference and a guy who's never been there.
I feel like in the NFL, there are 12 comparable quarterbacks, just like in the NBA, who are always going to be in a conversation of is their team good enough? And then there's Patrick Mahomes, who's part of that 12. He's at the top, so then you got 11. You got 11 other people.
What I am saying is, Dak Prescott has to take some blame.
No, you're absolutely right, and I totally agree. No, you're absolutely right, and I totally agree. So maybe I'm not articulating that part correctly, but I just feel like if you go back to that storyline of that Packers game, and I told everybody, they called me crazy. I said, yo, the Packers is going to win this game 1. You know, I'm a history guy. The Cowboys suck against the Packers historically, regular season and playoffs. So, you know, the ghost of the football gods were already against Dak there if you believe in that type of thing. You know, you're a gambling man. You feel me? So number two, then you got to go with Mike McCarthy is an ass coach. I don't care what nobody say.
I never said he was good. I always said he looked drunk in the playoffs.
You feel me? He's scary in the playoffs. He's scary in regular games. He was
drunk in the playoffs.
You feel me? That's why Aaron Rodgers say he went in there and called his own plays and his teammates respecting him for it because they like David Black. Why are you drawing this up? The hell is wrong with you? You feel me? Nah, we gonna let Aaron call plays. So there's that. Does Zach deserve a little bit of the blame? A little bit, but Tony Pollard, come on, man. Tony Pollard, for real? Yeah, I think Tony Pollard's about to carry out to the promised land. Y'all better off going to get 3 other running backs like the Chiefs have done it in the last couple of years, like the Eagles done it when they went on their playoff runs. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just like everybody say, the Eagles have been to 2 Super Bowls since the Cowboys have even thought about being good. So it's coaching. It's coaching. It's GM.
He banging on y'all now. He came in to stop me from banging on the Cowboys so he could bang on them harder.
I wasn't banging on them. I'm just saying, like, I'm like you say,
punching them, man.
No, like you say, you're a logical guy. So I think when I make my game pick, sometimes it's like, you tell me it don't matter. I'm never picking the Chiefs to beat the Colts. That's not my Colts fandom. That's me telling me most of the time in history when the Chiefs play the Colts, even with Patrick Mahomes.
It ain't got nothing to do with the blue and white.
No, that's like, you know, when you go to the football games and like you get the little programs and it'd be like these teams historical matchups, you know, like I feel like that matters a little bit. Like the Titans and the Steelers. The Titans go get their ass beat if they ever play the Steelers. If I'm a gambling man, I would never pick the Steelers to beat the Colts. Like these are just logical things. Like these franchises and these people and these decision makings are still kind of traditionally set in what they do sometimes. So it's like, yeah, you still build your team to beat your division. We only building our team to beat the Jags, Titans, and Texans. If we happen to be able to beat the Chiefs or the Steelers or the Ravens, cool. But that's not what we building our team for because we don't play them 6 times a year. But people don't understand that. So it's like the Cowboys is cool. I'm not giving Dak no passes. I'm not copping pleas for him. If anything, Mike McCarthy is the ass factor and maybe the decision making.
But this is what I'm saying. The other logical side of that is we all know that Mike McCarthy and Dak are tied at the hip. You can't.
Unfortunately for Dak, that's true.
Without the other one going.
Unfortunately for Dak, that's true. But you know he's young, so he still got tread on the tires, and he gonna bounce back. If Kirk Cousins is allowed to get $140 million contract coming off an injury, I'm pretty sure Dak.
180.
All right, let me not count that man pockets. 180. If he's allowed to get $180 million coming off of a serious injury like that, then yeah, Dak Prescott to be cool whether he get fired or not.
I know you went around the world to get back to like. I'm glad you proved my point for me that Hap is talking about
always say that.
2013 Dak Prescott. Listen, if we talking about 2013, bro, like let's just go back to like the world was gonna end in the Mayan calendar. So like, we're not going back 10 years to talk about Dak's rookie year where he got beat in the second. Like, bro, we almost like listen. Either a person has accomplished something or they haven't. And to answer your question is,
They haven't.
No, we do not give people credit or props for losing, but I do say it's a logical
teach you how to
explanation of me
vibe.
saying this quarterback here has always won playoff games and has been to a Super Bowl and lost, been to an NFC championship and lost. So what do I know? This person has experience with playing at on the biggest level. So I can't take somebody who's never got past a wild card and be sitting here thinking that, but look, this is what I'm saying. There's a thing of the lights being too bright, and sometimes some of these guys who's never been there get into the situation, and Mahomes done been there a bunch of times. Burrow has played in the Super Bowl and lost. He knows how it feels. Like some of these people has been there and they got the experience of, man, if I get back there next time, I ain't doing a long media role. If I get back there next time, I ain't going to eat this and that. If I get back there next time, I'm going to stay focused on this and not that. A lot of times that actually helps people because they have the experience of being there versus someone who's never done it. So I can't give credit to people who've never been there because they've never got there to even be on the stage to lose. They've never been in that position. I'm not taking all these wild card willies, you know what I'm saying, that get bounced out every year and saying that they get credit, but the person that beat them and got there doesn't get credit. That doesn't work. That dog.
I'm just saying, my Colts, Peyton Manning, used to get his ass blasted, in the first round a lot by teams who shouldn't even be. No, I'm not. I'm never, and I never will. I'm just saying in the trajectory of winning and losing, because I feel like you're either winning or you're losing. You're either winning or you're losing. There's 11 other losers. Y'all just so happen to lose first. You know what I'm saying? So with that being said, it's like when people say Joe Burrow ain't really got it done in the league. He's nice. He's won a nice part.
He went to the Super Bowl with one of the worst lines in football.
Jalen Hurts did too.
And he gets
who can't even throw the ball over 20 yards.
So I'm saying.
I feel.
You naming all the guys.
Hold on. Let me articulate this a different way. I understand what you're saying when it comes to we're giving them credit. Are they the top tier players? Yes, they are. But I do feel like if we're talking about getting there, I'm going to go with Patrick Mahomes. Then I'm going to go with Matthew Stafford.
Conversation. Like, are you
okay, so then we're going to go with Matthew Stafford. Bet, but if he ain't in the conversation, we're going to go with Matthew Stafford. He's won. He's been there.
Okay.
Whether he's old or not, you got to take that into consideration if experience matters. So then who else is next? Joe Burrow? Jalen Hurts, I guess. Okay. If we taking the experience of actually going there and knowing what it takes to get there, you got to put them regardless of production. Who's next? Tua, Josh Allen, Lamar, they all the same at that point. If you group them, we're not talking about accolades but then it's like I asked my partners.
Everybody 2 days ago. Like
no, I know. I watched it. I watched it.
I separated
I always feel like it's this. Is Patty? Is Patty?
Patty
and it's everybody else.
Patty gone.
But then it's everybody else. It's 32 other bums. 31 other bums.
There's Flacco that's won the Super Bowl. There's Stafford. There's Russ.
Back up. Cool. Flacco's a backup. Russ is cool. Okay, so when we do it that way, you're right. You're right.
Deshaun Watson and DTR?
No.
And Jameis?
I don't even think Flacco right now is better than. I don't think he'd be better than.
Let me teach you how to vibe.
Flacco had an easier strength to schedule.
Here we go. This the Dak Prescott shit. Listen, because everybody. I don't think you can find me somebody that said Deshaun Watson played better on the Browns last year, minus Nick Chubb, than Flacco.
Deshaun Watson is done. He ain't played good since he left Houston.
So what I'm saying arguing about if I'm saying that there's
my original argument is circling back to I don't personally think all the blame is on Dak. And remember, I've said this in many of your streams and many of your chat. No, what I'm saying is like you saying he shouldn't get this money because he hasn't had X amount. The high paid caliber cap space you're allocating for not getting playoff wins.
That's not what I said. I said if you have a head coach that didn't get an extension and you have a $40 million quarterback that didn't get an extension. He had his best year as a pro last year. So his value in his stock is up right now, correct? He's not injured. He's healthy, right?
Yeah, I would say so.
If you traded for the quarterback that you was going to draft if you never gave him the contract, and you feel as if they don't take you to a Super Bowl this year, they are both gone, why not do the lame duck shit we all know is about to happen if you don't give him the confidence, because they made no moves in free agency. Fuck it. Take Michael Gallup, take Dak Prescott, package them up, trade them, put Trey Lance in, draft a QB, and then go get you a running back. Because as it sits right now, we just watched Dalvin Cook, we watched Aaron Jones, we watched Saquon, we watched Joe Mixon, Moss, Singletary, Derrick Henry, Tony Pollard. We watched every good running back in the league get a contract somewhere, and then the one running back that they was gonna get, the Packers said, AJ Dillon, we tagging you. You ain't going to Dallas. And he's sitting over there with Deuce Vaughn and sitting there just looking like, damn, the Falcons got Algiers, Bijan, and Flash, and we ain't got nothing over here. And we got $2.2 million, and they only had enough money to sign a long snapper. Free up that money. If you're not going to say we're going to give you everything to win, and we don't believe in you, while your stock is high, trade him off and do what the Seahawks did with Russ. They didn't feel like they was ever going back with Russ. They sent him to the Broncos, and they got the world. They put Geno Smith in. He wound up being comeback quarterback of the year, and Drew Lock. Both them quarterbacks are stock up. You see what I'm saying? Like, and what did they draft with all the picks that they got? Tariq Woolen. They went and got Kobe Bryant, K9. Bro, they got 1,000 niggas for that. The Dallas Cowboys need to stop looking at the back of the jersey and the name and just go ahead and get some talent out there. Because the reality is, Dallas Cowboy defense is elite. They'll be in every game with that defense.
I think the GMs, all the GMs, not the Cowboys, need to take the 2000 Pistons approach on building a team. Okay, if your point guard is great at setting up the offense and getting this guy in position who only going to average like 6 points, and then that 6 points turn into 8 points because you know he's going to get 10 rebounds, 10 blocks a game. You feel me? Like, if y'all set y'all team up that way, they can be in position. That's why I always try. I don't like to give Dak bail, but the Cowboys never set him up a position. I always go back to the multiple offensive coordinators he's had. You feel me? So then that factors in. That's like, going back to the Derek Carr situation. The great players have had staples and pillars in their careers.
Bro, I'm about to
be
up.
great.
You just mentioned Derek Carr.
Derek Carr's mid, but I'm just saying, like,
whoa,
Derek Carr is mid, but if we gonna say players ain't set up for greatness, name me another great player that's had multiple offensive quarterback. Multiple offensive coordinators in their career. Tom Brady didn't do it. Peyton Manning didn't do it. No, I wasn't. The same thing I said then is the same thing I'm saying now. Name me a quarterback that's great that had multiple offensive coordinators. Ben Roethlisberger had Bruce Arians. Tom Brady had Bill O'Brien. Peyton Manning had Tom Moore. Patty got Andy Reid. You feel me? Like, the great people got staples and pillars in their career, in their life, that in the coaching that people always tell me don't matter, I think matters psychologically. Football's 80% mental. Football's 80% mental. We all know the plays they're going to run. These are all superstar athletes. Everybody got Ferraris. Everybody lifting weights, trying to be tip-top shape, trying to be their best. So it's like, I can't not think that aspect of the game don't matter. Just to me. I could be wrong.
Let me ask you a question, though. So you got Derek Carr, and the problem is the offensive coordinator that switches out and is hindering him. This ain't a situation where we saying like he just doesn't have any help and there's nobody to get open and they just ain't, the talent ain't there. So we taking a QB that's playing and he looks up, the offensive coordinator has called a play. He's one of the highest paid QBs in the league. And he looks behind himself, and to his flank is Josh Jacobs, the leading rusher. He looks out wide, and he sees Devontae Adams, the top 5 wide receiver. He looks back to the right. He sees Darren Waller, one of the most athletic tight ends in the league. He looks over and sees Mac Hollins, one of the nice athletic 2 receivers in the league. And he looks at Hunter Renfrow, old 50-year-old ass in the slot that understands every defensive zone and how to get to it. and he can't make an adjustment, and they're better with Aiden
Let
O'Connell
me
than
teach you
him.
how to vibe.
Aiden O'Connell wasn't ass in college. I don't know. That's
Bruh,
one thing.
like, here we
hold
go.
on.
Aiden O'Connell, my nigga. Like,
hold on.
being
I'm not
honest,
giving.
bro.
Teach you
They
how
went
to
and paid
vibe.
Gardner Minshew because he's better than Aiden O'Connell, and they're going
I
to
told
draft
you,
another
Gardner Minshew
quarterback.
fell all
This is
over the
what I'm
field
saying.
and won
This is what I'm
9
saying.
games.
How many
I'm not
excuses
giving-
are we going to make for somebody who's had plenty of talent around him for 10 years? If you're a 10-year veteran in the league, I don't give a damn
Trent
about no offensive
Dilfer.
coordinator. 'Cause
I
if
just
you
wanna
Aaron
know.
Rodgers, if you any of these great quarterbacks, if you like, that's
Aaron-
getting,
Let me
look,
teach
listen,
you how
if
to
you any of
vibe.
these $40 million quarterbacks, you're gonna do a check with me. You're gonna say fuck what he talking. If Jameis Winston can tell the offensive coordinator to shut the fuck up, I'm gonna run whatever play I want. Why in the
National
hell can't
champion,
Derek Carr?
Heisman winner. One. Derek Carr ain't won the respect of his peers in totality in what they do.
In a decade?
Jameis Winston, we could go with that, but Jameis Winston is always going to be remembered as one of the dogs of the game. National title winner, Heisman winner. Like, he's always going to be
Let me
solidified.
teach you how to
Like,
vibe.
good, bad, late, relevant. That's Jameis' story. You feel me? So that's why Carr doesn't get that respect. But then, like, you also just got to like see it from a different point of view of what I'm speaking of. I'm not giving these guys no bail, but if Trent Dilfer, one of the worst quarterbacks ever, or Brad Johnson for that matter, that's how I know a lot of people don't watch football, can go win a Super Bowl. I think Dak Prescott is better than both of them. Put him in the right team, put the right
Who's
coach
arguing
around
with
him.
you that Dak Prescott now better than Trent Dilfer or Brad Johnson?
No, what I'm saying, if like regardless, I don't think regardless of what they paying, people should be like, oh, they're not winning a playoff game. Yeah, they come with the scrutiny, being a high caliber, high profile professional.
Way I lose is if I throw a pick.
So what's the Jets' excuse for giving Aaron Rodgers the bag? If we use that logic, I'm gonna just say I'm done
They
with the
thought they was gonna get
conversation.
Matthew Stafford and he got hurt.
Okay, I was about to say I'll just agree to everything you're saying, even though I think eventually you're gonna have to pay the guy. Eventually, it's like the Ravens about to run into that situation. Lamar about to start being pricey. You taking away people. You ain't winning playoff games. We about to have to start having that conversation about Lamar.
But this
Two
is- this
MVPs.
the
Is
one
he
thing
getting
I
it
see
done?
from the Ravens.
But look, I think the difference between Dak and Lamar, not to cut you off, to let you go, I do think people like Lamar more. When people like
'Cause
you
he's
more,
better.
you get. We could go with that. I wasn't even looking at that aspect. I just feel like when you're liked more, you're granted more grace.
I don't think nobody disliked Dak Prescott. I think the difference is the Ravens, they know how to develop defensive talent. The Ravens ain't that good at developing offense. But on defense, the year that I thought that they would get help for Lamar, what did they draft? Isaiah Likely and Kyle Hamilton. And people saying another tight end, they got Mark Andrews. Another safety, they got. And what happened? Kyle Hamilton wound up being the best safety in the league. And then Isaiah Likely, when Mark Andrews got out, it looked like a damn receiver, like a gazelle running across dunking on niggas. And you get to thinking about maybe, just maybe, this team is smart enough to develop defensive talent that they can have another linebacker they feel is better than Patrick Queen. They'll let him walk. And what's going to happen is Lamar will be faced with some situations where in the future he'll have to Patrick Mahomes. They'll have to come in and say, will you take a contract, a reshuffling, if you want another receiver, if we don't get who we want in the draft? That's the difference.
I want to know. Remember, I think it was when you cut the stream off the other day, and people like, Derrick Henry's on the Ravens. And I'm like, yeah, that's cool. But it goes back to what I always tell people, and they call me crazy. Coaching matters. If they not going to run the ball, I don't care if they had Emmitt Smith. I don't care if they had Gale Sayers. If they ain't going to run the ball, that don't matter. And I'm not about to just say Derrick Henry is I've seen Derrick Henry against Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs, and it didn't work. So y'all ain't about to just tell me Derrick Henry, Lamar Jackson.
Be real.
That first half was epic. It's one of the greatest games I've ever seen in my life.
On water.
That was one of the greatest games I've ever seen in my life.
Patrick Mahomes walked on water, and Tannehill couldn't beat a 10-man box. Like
I mean, okay.
That was the inefficiency.
Look, Peyton Manning lost a playoff game because his DB wife stabbed him 2 days before.
Do what?
Things happen.
What'd you say?
I said Peyton Manning lost a playoff game because one of the DB's wife stabbed him 2 nights before, and Hines Warren went down on the streak for 50 yards in overtime. You feel me? So, hey, I mean, things happen. There's storylines, stories, styles make fights. I just feel like
I
people
thank you
just
today,
got to
though,
be.
Impulse. This has been a great experience that you made all my points for me, and I didn't have to say nothing.
Hey man, I don't try to argue points because like I don't think I'm ever gonna change people's mind. I don't try to. I just try to tell my side of the viewpoint and let people see it from a different way because I like football and love football. So my Colts bias that you might think I have really don't got nothing to do with. Like I watch
got
all
a
watch
little
football.
Colts bias though.
Name me 3 Colts fans minus me. There we go.
No, look, legend game. Like you asked me, legend gaming. My boy Kadarius and my barber. But them niggas is rabid Colt fans though. Like them niggas is rabid. Like I had to sit in here and listen. I used to go get a haircut and had to listen to this nigga talk like the whole day about what happened, bro. Like, it used to be bad.
When we were at our peak, maybe Anthony Richardson will get us there. I don't know. That remains to be seen. But like, I still don't feel like we got our respect. So that's why I go hard for my fandom. The world, because Peyton Manning choked a lot. Baby, I got to be realistic in my fandom and say Peyton Manning should have got Indy 2 titles, possibly 3. We went to 2 Super Bowls, but you know we gotta be realistic about it too. So it's like a lot of people don't give Peyton Manning that respect. I don't care what Patrick Mahomes is doing right now. If I'm building the team right now and I got the greatest players on the clock, give me Peyton Manning. I don't care. Give me Peyton Manning.
But this is the thing though, because I don't want to like go off on the tangent. People who don't respect the teams, I just think a lot of people don't watch AFC South, and the people that do understand it better than everybody else. Like when people come in and they talk about the AJ Brown, I'm like, man, y'all so far removed that y'all don't even know everybody in that entire organization that was there got fired. Like when the Colts, if you go look, like there's nobody outside of AFC South that'll mention Zaire Franklin, but I've seen him play, and y'all have heard me say on stream, like, listen, ain't nobody running past that nigga. And I was sitting here watching the game live on stream, doing the cast during the game. I'm like, why on earth are we still running towards DeForest Buckner and Zaire Franklin? Like, you can't get past them. It's like an impenetrable wall. And then at the end of the game, when I seen Michael Pittman Jr. on Trey Avery, I literally made a meme where he was like a barbecued chicken with his head on it. Because I'm like, because you know what happened in that? On the deep pass to what's the white boy y'all got? Receiver.
Alex Pierce.
Alex Pierce caught the deep pass, right? Christian Fulton hamstring acted up for the 5,000th time, and then Trey Avery came. I said, oh my God. I said, Trey Avery on Pittman. I said, GG's. And people's like, what do you mean? I'm like, because there's a lot of people that don't even know that Michael Pittman Jr. is a good receiver. You know what I'm saying?
Top 5 production wise. People ain't gonna argue. People gonna argue. Man, he ain't top 5. Look at the numbers. He better than your favorite receiver.
But this
maybe
the thing,
not
though,
unless
like,
it's Tyreek Hill.
You have to watch AFC South football to understand it. Just like people was like, oh, the Jags. I said the Jags have a problem with being a front runner. If the Jags was the underdog, they win every time. When the Jags are favored to win, they never win. It was 8-3 and fumbled the bag in some kind of way, got out of the play. That's 2 years in a row in the AFC South. The Titans was 7-3 and everybody had a losing record. And then the Jaguars was 8-3 and everybody was thinking about draft picks. And those teams out front fumbled the bag and the whole division wound up getting 500 at the end of the year. And it comes down to like win and get in. It's been win and get in the South the last 3 years. It's came to the last week, win and get in the South. Like we literally went down to tiebreakers 3 consecutive years. But people that don't watch the division, is just like from a broad brush look at it, and because people are saying like the Texans had 3 wins the season before. They fired Lovie Smith because he didn't want to tank. I said, but if you understand, it's not that much difference between the Colts and the Texans. Like, what do you mean? Like, yeah, they just signed some niggas, but the Colts still already have everything that they just went and got. But it's just for people that don't watch it. I'm like, the Colts was still good with Gardner Minshew. If Anthony Richardson winds up developing, they're going to be tough. The Titans going to have a better roster. The Jaguars are making some moves, but it's really going to come down to like, can Trevor Lawrence make the next step? That's what it's going to come down to them. And then
I think
the Texans,
that's
like,
why
how are they going to play with pressure
Jones
this year? They're going to play with a target on their back.
I think the Texans is done too.
I ain't saying they done. I think they'll still be like right as the favorite of the division. But I'm saying they playing a playoff schedule, And it's going to be a lot more people watching film on the Texans this year than the last few years because with nobody watching film on the Texans. Because it was a completely new team. Like Damian Pierce was the running back. You know, they had a 2-quarterback system. Nico Collins was the best receiver, but nobody ever really seen him play a full season at the like, bro, everything about their team was completely new.
Yeah, once you get enough tape on the team, it's easy to figure out. Jalen Hurts is a perfect example of that. That's why I feel like as mid as we like to take or say Dak is, he's still better than like half the league. As mid as he is. A lot of people ain't though.
But see,
you know, but I watch all the games
Dak
though.
Prescott, not because I think he sucks. I said trade Dak Prescott because he got value. And they don't believe in him. So if you don't believe in a player that got value, when have you never not traded a quarterback? Like it's like the Cardinals. They don't really believe in Kyler Murray. Trade him. The Bears don't really believe in Justin Fields. Deal him. The Commanders are got some balls. They got some nuts. They don't believe in Sam Howell, so they trade him. Like the Eagles didn't believe in Carson Wentz, they traded him and it worked. You know what I'm saying? If you don't believe in somebody, draft and replace. Show me as a franchise, you know what you're doing.
Shit, we didn't believe in him. We dropped him in 16 games. Not about to waste our time. We got a culture of winning here in Indianapolis.
But to his credit, Carson Wentz played through some pain with y'all. That boy had so much tape on his legs. He ruined his career playing for y'all. I ain't gonna lie. Because he had that contract where he didn't get that money unless he played some 75% of them games. Like,
I was there the game that I felt like if we would have won that Eagles game, he probably would have still been our quarterback. But things happen for a reason, and we seen that like he still was a top tier quarterback stat wise that year. You feel me? It's just you know between the eyes, you not gonna be the guy to take us there. It's like when the Chiefs decided to move away from Alex Smith to Patty. He was cool. He was all right. But he didn't have that what you can't coach. You feel me? He didn't have that. Yeah, intangibles, X factor, you know.
Oh, D'Angelo.
Let me teach you how to vibe.
I ain't finna laugh the way they folded up Levis at the end of that season. My boy with leg and arm was behind his back.
People called me crazy when I said Zaire Franklin's one of the best linebackers in the league. I said he damn near might rival Fred Warner. Crazy, bro. You're a Colts fan.
Look at the stats. I never said that because I know how good he was.
Yeah, a lot of people don't watch the game, bro.
When y'all stopped us on that fourth down, I was like, why did he run at him on fourth down?
Like, he led the league in tackles this year. They didn't even block him
on that play.
Damn, bro. He can't be blocked.
But I'm saying, like, they didn't even, like, there was not nobody assigned to him.
Derrick Henry know about him for sure. Oh, Bob.
But that's my sauce, though. Is like, some teams I don't understand. The Cardinals right now, I do not understand. Maybe they can make me a believer. I don't understand what the Cardinals are doing right now. The Broncos, I have no clue what they're doing. Now think about it. We talking about the Cardinals and we talking about who's the other team? I said I didn't know the Cardinals and who else? I just said I don't know what they're doing.
Broncos.
Yeah, Broncos and Cardinals. I clearly see what the Chargers are doing.
They're cleaning house and saving money.
Look, Harbaugh said, look, 2 old receivers, y'all gotta go. These 2 defensive ends, all right, restructure or leave. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is a question I got, because I said it last night and some people was kind of like getting nervous because I said it. And this lets you know, specifically Hap, this ain't hate when I say this about guys. Would Harbaugh come in and dangle Justin Herbert in front of the league if he is truly rebuilding?
I feel like this is a show improve year for Justin Herbert based on...
That wasn't my question. Would he dangle the thought of trading him pre-draft?
I feel like he don't know enough about him up close to even fully entertain that thought. You feel me? You ain't gonna trade someone you don't really know about it just yet. Like, you ain't seen any game time. You ain't seen the ups and downs of in-season decision making and how he handles adversity.
I think the Vikings, I think any of these teams that need a quarterback would sell the farm to get Harbaugh right now, and if you're saying that you like cleaning
Let me
house
teach you
completely,
how to vibe.
I don't know. I mean, that frees up and gives a lot of capital if you
Let me
truly
teach you
talking
how
about
to
rebuilding.
vibe.
But then it's like, all right, if you rebuilding, who do you replace him with? Russ gone.
You go straight to the draft. JJ McCarthy's
You
out there.
change it, but then so you flipping. I mean, that's a viable option. So, but I'm saying you flipping the keys back to a rookie is essentially what Chicago is about to go through. Yeah, I ain't put enough talent around. Keenan Allen's fire. Remember, I just said Keenan Allen's fire. That's not enough for a rookie wide receiver quarterback. You feel me? DeAndre Swift is fire. That's not enough in that division. Not right now. You feel me? Green Bay's fired, Detroit's fired. So it's like that ain't gonna be enough to develop somebody who don't know what it's like to play in the professional game. You could be nice in college. Ask RG3, ask Andrew Luck. You know what I'm saying? But
I'm
they about to
saying
go
if-
through the exact same thing.
I'm saying if you as Jim Harbaugh, would you think about it?
I think about it, but I can't all the way. I can't think about it properly without all the information. I don't have enough information. Like I've only seen my quarterback on tape. I've only seen him around the facility. I've only seen him do 707 drills. Like everything looked good when you in the weight room. Everything looked good in the spring, in the summer. We'll see what you like come August, September. You feel me?
Herbo free up 50, and you draft the quarterback that you comfortable with. You know because Harbaugh's offense is gonna be balanced around running the football. It ain't gonna be balanced around trying to get Herbo 5,000 passing yards.
Two of the best quarterbacks in the last 30 years have been post. Well, you should say day 2 draft picks. They've been post third round. Tom Brady, Russell Wilson. Say what you want. So if you're talking about just winning, you feel me? Like the next one, Patrick Mahomes, he sat a year behind a first round draft pick. Who sat? Well, Alex Smith didn't get the chance to develop properly until he got behind Jim Harbaugh. But that's beside the point. So it's like they could still go draft a quarterback in them later rounds. Like, you know what I'm saying?
I was just asking because, like, I be thinking way outside the box, so I ain't blindsided on draft day. Like, I could see Herbo and Kyler Murray getting traded from their teams.
I don't know what Kyler Murray's doing with his life. He just needs to like go full tilt.
I can't just say just
Call of
Kyler Murray
Duty.
because the whole Cardinals organization is like, bro. The fact that they just sent Rondale Moore to Atlanta for Desmond Ritter, bro, I laughed
It's
so
a
hard.
steal.
They had to look. I'm gonna go on record saying I think that's the worst move I've seen some team make this offseason.
I mean, Kirk Cousins did get 180 million, as you said, so it's close.
But this is the thing: if Kirk Cousins is healthy for Atlanta, I don't understand why you don't draft because they're doing the same thing the Saints did. But I'm saying if Kirk Cousins is healthy, what they put around, they'll be a playoff team. They ain't going nowhere. But I guess Arthur Blank is more trying to sell tickets.
Arthur Blank is cool with beating the Saints a couple times a year. He ain't worried about the Super Bowl.
Say it. Hey, look, that's the first time I wholeheartedly agree with something you said, bro. Like, he cool with beating the Saints in the Super Bowl.
If he shut out the Saints twice a year, it's a great year for Arthur Blank. Great year. You feel me? But the Falcons are mid, so it's like they ain't expecting
Arthur
much.
Blank giving out turkeys to the
You
people
feel
of the
me?
city of Atlanta for Thanksgiving if they beat the
I don't
Saints.
even know no real Falcon fans. I know people who are fans of Michael Vick. I don't know no real Falcon fans, you feel me? Because they ain't even loyal with their own players and organization. This boy hawked me.
Oh my God, that's crazy, man. Like, but I mean, all right. So let's play devil's advocate. You can send Kyler Murray somewhere, a logical trade, chat, or you could send Herbo somewhere on a logical trade. Like, where do you think the fit and C is?
Washington, New York, the Jets.
I don't think New York and the Jets is logical because Daniel Jones is getting 40 and Aaron Rodgers getting the left nut. I don't think
Hey,
you can
man.
move them two.
Good thing,
Because you're not trading player for player. It's got to be
in
like
another,
some depleted team that could take on the contract.
in another life, man, they lucky I ain't a GM because Daniel Jones will be cut. There's no way you could sit in your offices and at your nice facilities and be like, this guy's about to get it done. We in New York, bro.
Brandon got the first one that would make sense. Harbaugh to New England.
Might make sense.
I could see that, Brandon. Like everybody show Brandon some love. If somebody give me a solid one to think about, then I'll say okay. She said Vikings Raiders. I don't think that they trade Harbaugh in division, but we've been seeing people do weird in division stuff. I could definitely see the Vikings.
The Raiders are about to get Michael Penix.
You think so?
Yeah, I think he's gonna stay on the West Coast. They got to see him the most, and they got the best relationship with him thus far, from what I've read and researched. Wouldn't be surprised. You already got Gardner Minshew there. You know, anytime you see Gardner Minshew or
Jacoby Brissett or Tyrod Taylor,
you know already know what you bringing. Yeah, you see them boys.
You know, at Colt McCoy, where he at? You know, and
Tyrod Taylor is actually still a good viable starter. You feel me? I take Tyrod Taylor on Atlanta 2 years ago over whatever they thought they're about to do with Desmond Riddler.
But to be fair, Ritter was a 3rd round pick. He was.
In his defense, everybody on that Cincinnati team was a dog. In his defense, everybody on that Cincinnati team was a dog.
Because I always say, like, I ain't tripping if somebody draft a QB after the 1st round, because like it ain't. It's not a risk. Like, look, bro, we paying Will Levis $2 million. Malik Willis is getting like 1.3 or something. Like, bro, if you draft somebody, if you draft a QB outside the 1st round, like it's really no risk. Even in the 1st round, Justin Fields is only getting 4.7. Like, that doesn't hurt you. What hurts you is who you could have taken in the 1st round in light of that person.
Yeah, but you never know. That's the thing. You never know how these guys gonna
let's
develop.
Just look at the Bears' track record. I'm sorry, Bears fans. Y'all passed on all world QBs to get Mitch Trubisky.
Whoever thought that was smart need to, like, all y'all need to be fired.
That year when I seen Mahomes and Deshaun Watson, I said, there's no way, bro. Like, this is no way the Bears just did that. And then now to have Justin Fields and be in the same position again, that they're faced with, do we put something around Justin Fields with the 1st and 9th pick, or do you know they blew the offseason to trade him? So now if you trade him, you're trading him post-draft. There's nobody giving up a solid draft pick to get Fields when y'all on the verge of cutting him. You know what I'm saying? Like, because you don't lose nothing cutting him. You know what I'm saying? Like, those are the situations. He said the Patriots going to get Fields and draft Marvin Harrison Jr.
As long as Marvin Harrison Jr. ain't wearing a fucking Patriot blue, I'm happy in life.
This man said, do I got Joe Budden in the booth? Bro, why they be on your neck, Info? Like, everybody, like, I'm starting to think you like everybody hates Chris. Like, wherever you go, like, niggas be on your neck, boy.
What you mean? I feel like they just don't at my page. That's all I'm gonna say. You ain't got enough exposure.
You know who you remind me of?
Lay it on.
You the black, so amazing.
I don't even know who that is.
He's a well known dude in the Madden. He used to play on like the Madden bus years and shit. Like he an old head like us. He a Cowboy fan. He be on the podcast with Rich sometime. It's like he's a person, like y'all got this fiery, strong personality, like y'all uber competitive, you know what I'm saying? And y'all love y'all team, y'all love to talk sports and stuff, like family guys. And it's like, for some reason, it's like so amazing to just rub people the wrong way. And he's a nice dude though. Like y'all as good dudes, it's just like when you come in, like somebody they never like, man, who is Joe Budden in the booth? It's like, it's funny as hell because it's like I laugh at it, but that's just y'all personality. Like I don't think like you always gonna be the antagonist or the in the story for some reason. I don't know if it's your voice.
Maybe. Remember I told you I got some partners that be like writing scripts and stuff. So like you know how people say, why does this guy always play the same role in everything? You know what I'm saying? That's we don't want to call it typecasting. I forgot what my man said, but like when you have the ability to bring certain traits of a writing, I don't even know, it's not necessarily a screenplay, but just something that someone wrote, when you have the ability to bring that to life. That's why I always tell people, go see a play before a movie, because a play is going to be much better. Like those actors, you really got to command the room. You really got to make me believe that this character is real. You know what I'm saying? Movies got effects and shit. So I don't know, maybe it's that. Then all my years of just like working in media, so it's like maybe I've typecasted myself into this role. But maybe then if people feel that way, they just ain't got enough exposure to what I say. Like I might just give you a flash or something, and then you a hater, but you ain't stay around long enough to give the context of why I said what I said. So, you know, it's a reason why Joe Budden got all these fans too. Like niggas call him a hater, but y'all ain't like me. Y'all ain't in the Patreons. Y'all ain't getting the deep dives. Y'all ain't watching all the other stuff. So if you calling me a hater, at least go do some more homework. And that's on anybody, because I've been doing a better job at that too.
In the delivery.
It's a character, man.
I can see that.
There's a reason why WWE is like topping the ratings, because The Rock is back calling people peasants and shit. Silk shirts.
He said he liked to play better than the movie. He said outside the box, Justin to the Jags for Trevor, but they just traded for Mac Jones. That don't make sense to trade for two QBs in the same offseason.
Mac Jones going to a quarterback guy, and Doug Peterson is more telling. I'm telling y'all, this coaching shit is bigger than what y'all think, man.
I'm not saying it ain't.
A lot of people don't even acknowledge it. Yeah, I know you do. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people don't even acknowledge it. Bro, that don't matter. It matters more than you think. Do we really think Kirk Cousins is better than RG3? No, but Jay Gruden did. And the rest of the story is road. Kirk Cousins is the fourth highest paid player in NFL history with one playoff win. RG3 got that same one playoff win. They won the game, but, you know, they got bounced out.
They wouldn't have put RG3 out there, that fucked up leg.
RG3 shouldn't have put himself out there.
Bro, when I think of RG3, I think of Tua. Bro, seeing him just collapse on the field on the Dolphins, like that shit scared me, bro. Like
he shouldn't have put himself out there. He got paid all that bad, man. Y'all crazy.
Because I'm saying like the team doctors told Tua he was good, and he went out there.
Of course they do.
We seen the turf monster, the grass just tackle that man, him just black out, and I was like, that shit's scary, bro. Because what if he would have got hit when he blacked out like that, like on the way to the ground, like.
That boy was throwing up gang signs.
Like he might have been like on like DeMar Hamlin, you know what I'm saying? Like he might have been out like flatline if he would have got hit on one of them plays where he lost control. Like, bro, you know how fucked up your body got to be to lose voluntary functions and control of your body as an athlete?
Me and one of my partners fell out about that DeMar Hamlin shit, because I look at that very differently too. I'm like Skip Bayless.
Let's hear it.
You know what you signed up for. Like, you got to take the risk of what you signed up for. That might be the contrarian opinion, but you know what I'm saying? If you go to war, you got this opportunity that the ops might have an opposite sniper on the other side. You might get hit, you might not. Hopefully you don't. Hopefully your intel and the other people on your team have done their jobs to protect you properly. You know what I'm saying? That's why it's a team.
Hey, look, you're not wrong though. I mean, it's insensitive because it's a person, it's a human. But I'm like, it's a gladiator sport. You
chose to do that, bro. I didn't tell you to go out there and play football. Like
the safety mechanisms is for liability and insurance, but it's not for the player safety. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just hate that all this stuff gets spent as it's a player safety issue. When in reality, it's like, man, this is
for the insurance.
Liability.
Yeah, this is for the insurance, and that's okay. If you tell me the truth,
I think the insurance for any NFL player playing with the ability that they could take one hit and be in a wheelchair the rest of their life, or potentially dead,
or dead.
You see, if you watch Twitter and you watch the internet, high school kids die every year in summer camps, 2-a-days, and in games. And I just think
that is a function of our culture.
Insurance is a ripoff in this country. I just think that insurance got to be added to anybody playing any kind of waiver sign sports, that insurance companies will take care of somebody if they wind up being permanently disabled or deceased from football.
And then, you know, that's just our culture too. A lot of these kids don't be telling their parents, this is coming from somebody who suffered from 5 concussions. Cinco. Uno, dos, tres, cuatro. Cinco, 5. That's documented. What about the ones that I didn't tell them about? You feel me? So a lot of kids put themselves in that harm way too. Is like you gotta take responsibility for what you're putting yourself in the fire too. So it's just our culture. We gotta teach it
to you and
different.
anybody else in that situation. Our culture is like, man, get your soft ass up, man. He just knocked you out. You know what I'm saying? It's like,
oh God, two of those concussions I had to when I was in college in JUCO, and I had to make the out of state roster. So a lot of people don't know that. A lot of people really think if you play football, you just make the team. That is not how it works. You really gotta put in work. So like me trying to make this out of state roster, and there's only 18 slots, and I ain't one of the fastest players on the team. I ain't one of the go-to kickers. You feel me? There's like 7 slots already locked down. You feel me? So you really gotta be. You think I'm about to put myself in a position to not make this team? Y'all crazy. You feel me? But in later life, latter year 30, sometimes I deal with certain issues. Sometimes I deal with certain things. So we got to teach it better. We got to educate people to not be afraid to speak on what's going on with you, to listen to your body, to not rush yourself to put it in harm's way in the sake of a sport that's going to not care about you, or you're already replaced. You feel me? There's kids born every day, B.
Then he had to pay it in full. he tried to switch it up.
This kids is born every day, B. I'm just saying, man. What they say, I know a lot of people don't like cuz, so I ain't gonna say it because you on Facebook, but there's a girl who's turning 26 every summer. You feel me? Don't limit yourself. There's always somebody there to replace you.
Wait, what?
Yeah, bro. It's like, don't yourself, bro. Like, I ain't gonna say his name. You can use logical deductive reasoning when I say, I'll repeat it. But some guys in their mid to latter 20s feel like they're limited in life with what's going on. They might got professional athlete friends. They might got friends and corporate friends who just, touching street money, and they just doing the regular thing. But you got to also remember, if you doing that grind and you playing the long game, there's always a girl who's turning 26 every summer. So you feel me? Don't limit yourself for what you think you might be missing just because it looks good in that moment. That's all I'm saying. I'm just like, the marathon continues. RP Nipsey.
I can't breathe, bro. He said Facebook is bugging, you ain't getting notified. Make sure you follow me on Kick and Twitch, and every time I go live, I'm on multi-stream, so you'll for sure get the noti.
I bet you the people who follow the other guys.
You've been around for some time. Cowboys slow played in them 2019 Buddha tournament. That's been a long time, man. Like, we done came a long way, and we still got so far to go when it comes to this situation. I see the TikTok CEO finally made a statement. He said he will not be silenced. Man,
I don't understand why people don't understand the bigger Pandora's box they're opening. It's like that transgender shit that we're going through right now. I don't think people really get it. I don't think people really get it. When you open up one box, I don't even dive into it because I don't know enough about it, but I do know when you open up one box, it's like a Russian doll. There's like 10 more inside. They're ready to go off.
That's only funny because I know what that shit is like. Just that little stupid ass Russian thing. Hey, listen, you know the sauce is? See, the reason why Shot by Buddha always takes a while before I respond to things that's going on, and I don't ever give knee-jerk situations. That's the pessimist in me. Is I'm knee-jerk. I'm like, it ain't that big a deal. Let me see what happens in 6 months, right? Like the same I felt when Jerry Banfield said he identified as being black and people was outraged. And I said, man, come back to me in 6 months and see if he still want to be black. You know what I'm saying? Like right now you just knee-jerk because it's Black History Month and nobody cares. But I'm saying now all those people that like was knee-jerk about those initial responses about the trans stuff, the gender identity, now these people getting lawsuits because these girls is going back getting lawyers and they had time to sift through the cases and the rules, and some of these people are starting to get sued. You know what I'm saying? Like, so people that didn't have enough information about it that jumped and said they let them play, and then now like, you find out that swimmer disrobed in front of some other female competitors. You know what I'm saying? Like, wait a minute, like you still got the tools, cuz like you done disrobed in front of all these ladies and now they're mad. Like now you finna get sued. Now it's like, how bad do you really want to upset the apple cart to get your way and push your way into forcing people to accept what we already accept about you? Is just saying that's your business, cuz like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you can't force me to play by your set of rules when the rules has been this all along. So now these lawsuits start flying and people will get quiet because they don't want to be on record saying what they thought about it at the time. You know what I'm saying? You can't call me ignorant because I said this black microphone is a black microphone. And you may think it's a white microphone, but I'm saying it's black and my eyes tell me it's black. I'm not one of them people that can't say, I'm not colorblind, like it's black. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not saying I don't like it because it's black. I'm just saying it's a black microphone. Like, I can't look at it and see anything other than a black microphone. That don't mean I hate it. That don't mean I'm mad at it. That don't mean I want to get rid of all black microphones. But I'm saying I'm looking at a black microphone and I can't be crazy because I won't tell you it's a white microphone. Now that these lawsuits coming out, people ain't gonna be so quick to want to push their agenda on somebody once. That's how America works. America's ran on lawsuits. You know what I'm saying? Once that president
Legalese.
Look, once that precedent is set, and now you have these Plessy versus Ferguson, Brown versus Board of Education type things happen.
And I don't understand why people don't want to stand it. It's not about TikTok. TikTok is not. We don't care about TikTok. It's all about. There's going to be another platform. There's going to be another site that does the exact same thing. Y'all need to really understand what's going on here. Sometimes I don't think people want to. You know what I mean? It goes back to my bigger matrix theory. And then it's just like, you can't say. Everybody don't want to be unplugged. You feel me? Like, I can try to tell you the information. I could try to give you the information. I ain't even gonna say, hey, I learned. Don't do this. You're gonna die. You feel me? Some people still ain't gonna digest it the proper way. So it's like, I'm gonna just try to be my best self and live my best life. And well, you know why you know this and how you maneuver this, bro. Really, it's just all a game, bro. It's all legalese. You feel me? I was working at an event. And a guy, because I'll be working NFL events too, like media and shit too, not just selling beer. And the guy was asking me, like, it was a white dude. I guess he just took a keen to me, but he was like, bro, how you make money and how you get paid? And when I broke it down to him, he was like, you know, you leaving a lot of money on the floor and you should do this and you should do that. So, you know, he ain't say nothing more. And I still see him to this day a lot of places. And he'd be like, I see you took my advice. He ain't follow up with me. He was just like, he gave me the little inkling I need. And if you don't want to be unplugged, that's on you. Because I ain't about to be one of those people. I've been in rooms. I'm not about to be one of those people. I'm a black man. I'm limited. I already know that's what they want me to think. I'm still going to come in here and dominate. I'm still going to come in here and take over. I'm still going to come in here and sell y'all what y'all can't create on y'all own. You feel me? So, yeah, like a lot of people don't want to be unplugged. And that's unfortunate for them.
Said they're moth, blinded by the light.
No, I think people, because
the fear of the unknown is basically what it is.
I think more people are okay with, I don't want to say settling, but just like I always tell people, you would be surprised how many more black people actually identify as conservative than you think. You feel me? Like, they actually like things a certain way.
It's the fear of the unknown, man. That's what I've always said is put it like this. You know, like, some people used to get mad when I used to say this because, like, I hate when people talk bad about their exes. And I'm like, at one point, of all the people on the planet, like, motherfucker would have laid somebody out for this man or woman. You know what I'm saying? This was your world. If you was a woman, you was sticking his down your throat. If you was a man, you eating, you know what I'm saying, post-period panties. You know what I'm saying? Like,
wow.
Bro, do you see what I'm saying?
Yo.
Like, this
Yo.
Bro, I'm going as extreme as I possibly can because I'm letting you see that, like, at one point this was your world, right? And then 6 months later, you don't even remember that person's name because you found something better. You know what I'm saying? That did everything that this old toy you used to play around with don't do, right? A lot of things in life is like that. It's the fear of the unknown until life. A person will lay down at night and pray. They'll pray to something bigger than themselves or within themselves or beside themselves and pray for something. They don't know how they're going to get it, right? They don't understand, like, the power of the tongue or the power of the thought that when I ask for something around me might get removed to get replaced. You're going to fight tooth and nail for that thing to not leave until you look over and notice that it's gone and there's something else sitting there that's better than a better version of the thing you just had. But you too busy fighting to keep that one thing from leaving. It's the fear of the unknown of what else is out there, and I'm scared to see if it could potentially be worse. I'll pass up on having something 10 times better.
You can have whatever you want in life, but you can't have everything you want in life. I don't think enough people realize that. So you got to choose. Me, I've made my choice. I've been through things. I've survived things. I've made my choice, and ain't nobody about to try to normalize inside the matrix, because we're in the matrix, what I should be doing, how I should be doing it, because I've made my choice on how I want to live. Like, y'all seen the movie. Every program ain't the same. Everybody ain't dressed up. Everybody got different tasks. It's either predestinated programming for you, or you gonna make the choice. I unplugged myself and made a choice on how I want to live, do things, how I want to see things. You feel me? That's why I think I'm a little more open-minded to alternative lifestyles, how people do things, blended families. Like, that goes back to what I say. A lot more black people are traditionally conservative, whether they want to believe it or not, because that's the way the matrix is programmed.
Let me teach you how to vibe.
Yeah, I mean that's literally it though. But people in general, like I think the perfect movie explanation of the fear of the unknown is M. Night Shyamalan's The Village. You seen that movie?
Yeah, but I just hate that run. M. Night Shyamalan was the only run.
I didn't like his movies, but I'm saying like it's the perfect example of them people in that village were so scared of the forest that they had been there all that time living in that primitive ass life that one person decides to hop the fence and realize like they living in modern times inside of some shit that feel like is colonial times. And it's like, that's like the world is the fear of the unknown of I'm gonna kill it because I don't know what it is, or
Attack on Titan.
You know what I'm saying? Like I'm so scared of it because I haven't experienced it. You know what I'm saying? Like, but life is about experiences and about experiencing everything.
The risk you're about experiencing, yeah.
And I'll give this out. Like, I know this is like me going on my rabbit hole shit. You know, I don't always go here because people will start getting spooked. But if you believe in a higher being, a higher power, a higher consciousness, that consciousness is something that you believe has the experience of all living things, animate and inanimate, right? So if you was going to be more godlike, you would have more experiences. The definition of fear, you know what I'm saying, would be holding most people back from having more experiences that would enhance their consciousness. Like, why wouldn't you want to experience new things? Why would you be so fearful? And the fear of the unknown, like, is literally like this mental cage around everybody. Like, I know people, bro, that ain't never left the city they was born in. Like, you know what kind of fear that is? Somebody that's so scared to leave the actual city they was born in, like never in their life had traveled outside of their city. I met people in college like that. Like, bro, you ain't never left the city.
And those are the people who go to college and wild out. Those are the people who go to college. I need to experience this. I don't know what this is like. Those are the people who are susceptible. Those are the people who get lost in the matrix because they don't know. They haven't been, given small doses. It's like they say, there's some villagers who used to give small doses of poison to protect you. It's like, a form of antibiotic. So when you ain't giving them small doses, you will experience, hear it, and see it different.
I used to tell my cousin when we first started this LIP Vibe Nation shit, I'd be like, man, it's a trick to it. And I used to be messing with him. I'm like, the trick is how do you give medicine to a baby? You crush it up in their food. It's the same shit. You can hand them the pill and they never take it. They spit it out for 10 hours. You crush it up in their food and it's so tasty and it get the same effect. Like, it sounds bad, but the masses got to have their pills crushed up in their food because they're scared to take the medicine. You see what I'm saying? Or if you just out and out just gave them the medicine, like they'd be looking, you sure this ain't gonna hurt me, right? Like, nigga, I've been crushing this up in your food for the last 6 months.
Everybody needs to watch Interstellar.
That movie fire.
And if you understand what's going on in Interstellar, you will understand how to move in this matrix with your kids, with your job, with your friends, like everything. You feel me? or Attack on Titan if you want the fast version.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing.
My boy said he waited all night to talk Keenan Allen. Bro, I was excited to talk Keenan Allen until the Chiefs got Hollywood Brown and Mike Williams.
And the Chiefs is about to go get another receiver, another running, another lineman, probably another DB. You know what I'm saying? Because depth is what matters in the NFL.
Bro, if somebody take the bait and send a second for Snead, the Chiefs is like, that's what they dangling, bro. They dangling trying to get another second round pick for Snead because they know something is out there that they want.
I go take it on Snead. I ain't gonna lie to you because I don't think Juju Brents is it. And he from my city. We're not the same class.
You don't think Juju nice?
No. I don't think he's fast enough to play against Zay Flowers, Tyreek Hill, Stephon Diggs.
You know what y'all got to do with him?
He's a
you got to
short side
him, bro. You got to send him on that. You got to put him on that boundary and leave him.
Ooh, he ain't that tall or lanky. I don't think he can sit on 6'2", maybe.
I think he's 6'3".
Nah, he's 6'2".
Let me look him up.
I just don't think he got that speed. You feel me? Like McCole Hardman ain't on the Chiefs no more, or MVS. They got burners. So Jamar Chase got burners.
6'3", Julius Brent 6'3".
He's 6'3". Okay, for sure.
Boundary,
I just still don't
leave him on that short side, man. Let him hit that back pedal, man.
Man, look, but that's the crazy part. Who is he covering? Because Kenny Moore still takes the best receiver.
Kenny Moore played the slot though. He with
Kenny Moore
go with the guy that's moving.
He do, but if you look, because I watch every Colts game like you watch every Titans game, when them teams start to move that right, can't stop that little dink and dunk slot, slant 7-yard check down. You know how people start getting in when they start cooking. Kenny Moore ends up on the guy for the part of the game or rest of the game. So it's like, if we gonna say our nickelback, who we just paid, who I think should be properly paid, is about to take on the best receiver in every game, then Brent's got to bring something else to the table. I don't know if he's a dime specialist, in the old.
Do with him though.
No,
Put him on that
man.
short
Gus,
side.
that don't fit with Gus. That don't fit with Gus Bradley's system. Like, I feel like he wants to be like a Vernon Maxwell build, but he don't got the speed of Vernon Maxwell, because that's what made him a viable option to replace Brandon Browner. People forget that Brandon Browner was the original Legion of Boom. So that's our D coordinator right now, and that's what we're trying to build. But
you
we got the
D line. Turn Juju into that Richard Sherman. Don't throw.
I don't think he was in the Richard. I don't think Richard Sherman has an advantage to play wide receiver. A lot of people didn't watch college football, didn't know that.
Sherman's smart as hell too, though.
That part too, but that comes with being a wide receiver and catching passes from Andrew Luck, because you got to know the routes, you got to learn it, right? You got to see it. Right? So like he had that advantage of playing DB that a lot of DBs don't got. They've been DBs their whole life. But nah, I don't. I know he has the IQ. I just don't think he has the speed in the AFC. The NFC guys, he can probably hold his own. Them AFC goons, nah, I don't know, man. Garrett Wilson is another goon I don't think he could cover.
Man, send that nigga to the Titans then.
Don't nobody want to live in Nashville.
I'm not disagreeing with that. Hey, look, I told Rich earlier, I said the reason why these star running backs ain't coming to Dallas because they don't want to deal with the dog and pony show.
Let me teach you
I
how
would
to
live to
vibe.
Dallas only for the tax break. Hashtag great state of Texas. Other than
I'm
that,
saying like all them free agent running backs, I don't think any of them wanted to go to Dallas. Though.
I mean,
Derrick Henry was
if you're a millionaire, living in Dallas or Texas is always going to be a plus.
Go to play in Dallas, like play for that franchise.
Now, I'm saying that affects your dollar line too. I look for Florida, Dallas, the Nevada, the places that's going to, save me a little coin. Just a little bit, not a lot bit.
Man, 50 Cent is a goon. It said Michael Rainey Jr. said he was blindsided by Power being canceled. And 50 Cent said, yeah, because he don't answer his phone. If you answer your phone, you would have been blindsided.
I mean, logically,
extra guilty, y'all, all in the media now.
I mean, logically, 50's just bringing more attention. He wouldn't hang his man's out.
No, I don't think so. I think
That.
50 just being fun.
But
He'll
logically, we
Ride
seen
with
where that
Mo.
story was about to end anyway.
Ride with Mo. But we could, whatever y'all want to talk about. If you want to talk Keenan Allen, if you want to talk any of these moves being made, I know a lot of people have been talking about Aaron Donald announcing his retirement. I don't think that's nothing that we didn't see coming. I mean, I think
he wanted to retire after the Super Bowl.
I think he's in the mode of, hey, I got my ring. I'm going down as one of the greatest ever. Like, let me enjoy my family, and this frees up a lot of money for the Rams to go make some moves. I'm trying to see if anybody got picked up or traded. Dun-dun-dun-dun. Ride with Mo has been good, my guy. It says Devondre Campbell to the Niners. Vikings. Troy Dye.
Let me teach you how to vibe.
Trenton Irwin is going to Cincinnati for nothing. Jaguar sign. Calavin chasing at edge. 1 year, $5 million deal. They still talking Jadeveon Clowney to the Jets, but it ain't official yet. It still ain't official yet. You said, I swear you can't. Some Bear fans happy with Keenan Allen. I mean, he's a solid receiver for whoever coming in. So I mean, just think, if you are gonna get Marvin Harrison Jr. with Keenan Allen and DJ Moore, that's pretty solid at receiver that you got Swift. I mean, it's not like you saying tops in the league, but you got to put a veteran with that young guy to take some of that pressure off of him. Got to put somebody else out there.
Keenan Allen still had 1,000 yards 6 out of the last 7 years.
That's what I'm saying. Like you putting a guy where that guy ain't got to come in on a team with so much pressure. Like he ain't gonna, because see what teams do is they put that receiver out there and then they see number one corners. They disappear some games. He gonna be allowed to float a little bit now. Let's see who else is on the move. Aaron Donald and Barry Sanders are the only players in NFL history to play 10 seasons and go to the Pro Bowl in each season. That man went to the Pro Bowl every season. Smoke. Let's see. It went from free agency to talking about Aaron Donald.
Let me teach you how to vibe.
I'm trying to see somebody getting moved. Wow, Tierra Tart might be headed to the Bengals. Tierra Tart gonna try to play for all the ops.
I'm hoping Diggs go to the Colts.
Receiver or cornerback, Diggs?
Corner, safety.
Oh, Quandre Diggs. Wow. Jerome Baker leaves his visit with the Titans to the visit with the Seahawks. Man, go get Isaiah Simmons and stop playing around. Man, I'm just tripping on the Chiefs, bro. I told everybody, I said, when he restructured, I said, some wild shit coming, man. Because people arguing me up and down about the Tyreek Hill shit. And I said, man, just think. They replaced Tyreek Hill's production with Sky Moore and Kadarius Toney, Valdez Scantling, and Juju Smith, all for cheaper than Tyreek, way cheaper. And then this year, Mecole comes back and they win. And then now they go get Hollywood. So, like, Rashee Weiss, Hollywood, Irv Smith, like, they not done yet. That's the crazy part.
I also think
Tre'Davious White might be hurt more than we all think.
I also think losing Tyreek Hill made Patrick Mahomes developed because he used to kind of lean on just getting that deep pass to Tyreek. You feel me? When he brought
he was getting
Juju
greedy for a
in.
while, just like fuck
When
it,
he,
I'll throw it up there. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Like,
then when he brought Juju in, it sounds like, all right, I got to check down. I got to look at Travis. I got to look at everybody. And everybody's numbers show. So, like, it actually made him a lot better.
you know, because when people told me they was gonna suck, I said, just make it real simple for you. For $30 million, do you think you could replace easily 10 touchdowns and probably 13 to 1,500 yards in receiving yards? You should be able to. With $30 million and all them draft picks, bro, I'm like, come on, like this shouldn't be hard for you to get to with three guys can't come up with 12, 1,300 yards and 10 touchdowns. Like that just means Andy Reid ain't committed to football no more, and I don't believe it that Andy Reid is going to regress as an offensive play caller and schemer. He said that Jerome Baker wants more than $9 million. He ain't getting it. He's not getting it from the Titans. I'm sorry, bud. We ain't paying no linebacker no 15
The house that
$15
Tannehill built.
Do you think you being funny? Tannehill and Mariota got the same stats if I put a black line over their name.
So who built the house? They getting a new house.
Who built the house?
Eddie
Just
George.
Derrick Henry's house.
Let me teach you how to vibe.
That's not good. If a running back built your.
Hey, listen. Running game and defense is always the heart and soul of Nashville. I don't know why the fans just don't understand it. Like, if the Titans can't run the ball and play defense, we'll never win.
They just need to go back to the Aaron McNair days and try to be a vertical threat. I mean,
I think that's what they're trying to do with Levis, because, like, when people argue with me about, like, I said that I would rather see Willis and Levis last year, the whole season, people is like, man, I don't know, man. Tannehill. I said, bro, have you ever watched Ryan Tannehill play? The dude reads inside out, which means he looks in between the tight ends before he goes outside, and he doesn't have the velocity or the release to get the ball outside down the field. As soon as you came in and seen Levis throw for like multiple touchdowns, all of his starts, people was thinking it's some kind of anomaly. I'm like, no, he's an outside in receiver, which means he's looking down the field and coming back. Like, quarterbacks have vision patterns that you can train, and some people just naturally look a certain way. Teams were used to playing Titans, 8 men in the box, and the safeties was used to looking down at the tight ends and running backs. When you finally have a quarterback that's going to look deep and say, wait, my receiver has to step on him, let me turn the ball loose, and the fact that Levis got a quick release, the ball is out. It's in the air. It's just whether Traylon Burks is going to drop or the D-Hop going to catch it. Because Traylon Burks dropped them all and D-Hop caught them all. I mean, that's just pretty much it. So now, like, they can get back to, like, no team, and you've been in the AFC South, no team was ever scared the Titans was going to uncork a ball. Ever. Like, how do you have Derrick Henry and you guarantee the 8-man box and just never just uncork? Sometimes you just got to uncork it. Like when you look at some of the passes that Mahomes and Burrow make, in the Super Bowl, that pass that he made to Hardeman, he was covered. But Mahomes said, fuck it, let me throw the ball. This nigga's fast, like, fuck it. He outran the coverage. The safety stopped and turned around, and then the receiver kept running and caught it. Like, sometimes you just got to turn the bitch loose, because you make the defense think, I can't just run down to the line of scrimmage at the snap of every pass. With Tannehill, you can do that. Like, a safety is never within... A safety when Tannehill's in the game is never past 10 to 11 yards in the back off the line of scrimmage. They're literally within the first down marker, because he ain't gonna turn it loose. That's sad though. You know what I'm saying? Like, for 4 years, no team was ever scared we was gonna throw the ball deep. Now we have it. Lil D, 7 Day, D-Jack, what up? A rocket, D-Jack. But I'm saying, like, teams gotta be scared you gonna throw it deep, man. I'm sorry. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't beat good teams if they ain't scared. Like, cause the defenders are too good. If you don't have the, like, when the Chiefs beat the Ravens and they ran that press coverage and Valdez-Scantling beat them over the top, you gotta be able to turn it loose sometimes, man. You can't be scared, because they wasn't about to let them get no crossing route or no shit. They're like, you gonna beat me deep. And they're like, all right, fuck it, we gonna go deep. game plan for the Titans is easy. Run defense on first and second down, third down, send the dogs and play deep coverage. Like, I mean, not deep, play the sticks. You know what I'm saying? Like, Tannehill's he's throwing at the sticks because, like, he don't have nothing else. And it's going to be over the middle more than likely. Like, the fact that when we played the Bengals, they was on the sideline, like, saying what plays that Tannehill was about to go to, like, before they picked him, it's like, that's sad. Because he really could. They understood enough about Tannehill to know his eye progression on where he's going with the ball. That's sad. Dude is so predictable that the defense can tell by the way he comes out and where he's checking at the line of scrimmage where the ball is going. It's sad and still lose. NFL is gonna be interesting this year, bro. I'm excited. For anything, for lack of anything else, we're gonna get to see something different this year. Like Drake said, nothing was the same.